Anyway,
I'm ready.
right.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready. You ready, Mike?
Loading. We're not on. No, we're not on the YouTube.
Oh
Oh, wait. Here
God.
we are.
Here we
There
are.
we are.
Here we
Settle
are.
down, Beavis. Why are you so dramatic?
Oh, what's the matter with you?
God.
Yep.
Chinny, you ready now?
Yep.
Okay. Stu, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
I'm not a nerd, I'm a video game enthusiast.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Chinny, other fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
Just moronic commentary and stupid sound effects, and it's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers. Switch that console off before you have to press delete, yo.
Video games and drugs, those two things don't mix.
Hello and welcome to episode 749 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, 749. What up, people? I is Duke.
And I is Stu.
And I is Chinny.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we are not military veterans, people. We are veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
And we stream every Sunday night on YouTube and Twitch.
Yes.
That's 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon here in the U.S. Central Time.
We do. Anyway, how are you
Yeah.
two guys? How are you going? You good?
Good. Yeah, had a little nap
Excellent.
earlier, and we finished watching Fallout last night, and I don't. Y'all probably don't want spoilers and stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
not seen it yet. Not seen it.
Okay.
It's in the first episode. First episode, that's it.
Well, I have some thoughts when you're done. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Need to do that. I guess
Maybe
I need
I'll
to
put
get
them
on
on the
it.
Discord, perhaps. I don't know.
I need to get
It
on
depends
it.
on how eager you are to hear my thoughts. Which
See,
not
trouble
everybody
is-
always eager.
Trouble is, we're watching Shogun at the minute, which
Yeah.
gotta say is excellent. Best
Yeah,
show
that's what
on
I hear.
Disney Plus. Best show on Disney Plus at the
Yeah.
moment.
No, The Simpsons is the best show on Disney Plus.
Nah,
It
it's
always
not.
will.
Game of Thrones in Japan is the best description of this show. I watched. Do you remember the original? Do you remember this Shogun in the 1980s?
I never saw the original.
It was original.
I was like
Richard-
4 years old. What are you talking about?
Richard Chamberlain was the star of this show back in the day. Handsome chap, got to be said.
Uh-huh.
This is way more brutal than the
Well,
original
yeah,
one.
we live in a more brutal time, dude.
I think it's true.
Actually, we don't. It just the media
Well,
landscape is more brutal. I don't
think
know.
you can just
the world is more brutal.
show more stuff. I think you can just show
Shogun
more
more stuff. Ah,
Shogun more stuff. I mean, these guys. I mean, back in the day, right? It was called Harry Carry. You know, when someone killed themselves.
yes.
Whatever. But it's
Seppuku,
called
I
something
think.
else. It's called something else in this show. I don't know. It's called something else.
Seppuku.
Seppuku might be seppuku. But what happens is, right? They stick a
There's
knife
difference,
in
but I
the
can never remember what the difference is.
they stick a knife
Go
in the
on.
belly and then slice
Yeah.
themselves open so all the guts fall out.
Yes.
And then
Yes, it's
another
ritual
person-
suicide.
Another person at the same time chops their head off. And it's like,
Well, yeah, it's you got to protect your
Wow.
honor. And I don't want to comment on the Shogun era or this notion of Bushido people. It's easy to romanticize that, but I will say this: I think we live in a time where if you talk about dignity and honor, people look at you like you got fucking lobsters crawling out of your ears, which sucks. We should all be living in ways that are, in some ways, focused on dignity and honor. I think
definitely.
one of the biggest mistakes
Yeah,
people
yeah.
make in 2024 is that people act like, well, if you live with honor, then you're gonna miss out on opportunities to make money and get ahead. And it's like, you know what? Screw that.
yeah, no,
Anyway.
people don't. I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world we live in. People just want to tread on each
Well,
other.
we make the world we want to
Yeah.
live in. That's what they said in Contact. So I agree with Jodie Foster there.
Yeah, get to the top of the
Whatever
pile.
character's name
But
was.
never mind all that stuff, man. I have had a weekend of weekends. It's fair
Have
to
you
say.
really?
Happy birthday!
It was my birthday on Friday.
Yay! Stu's birthday!
Birthday on Friday. We went out to this really nice microbrewery which I chose, even though I don't drink. So I don't drink
No, you
anything.
don't drink. Did you get some micro root beer?
No, they did have some non-alcoholic like pale ales and stuff, so I tried a
Yeah,
few
I will
of those.
never understand this. There's so many tasty beverages you could be drinking instead,
Well-
and you're like, I want the one that doesn't taste good, but it gets you drunk. Except
no, it
mine
did.
won't get you drunk.
Yeah, no, it did taste good. I mean, it was, to be fair,
I
the
just
couple
hate
I
the taste
had-
of beer, so I'm just.
Well, I like the taste of beer, so I was fine with
I
it.
know
Anyway,
that's fine. More power to you.
it was really cool place. It was outside. It was overlooking Rivington Pike, which is this big hill near where we live. They
Cool.
had like, it was almost like street food vendors set up. So they had like a smash burger place, a
Street
chicken
meat.
burger place, pizzas, and you could choose which food you wanted. You just went up and made your order, and then they brought it to the table. It was really, really good, by the way. The food was
And they had
excellent.
like a window. It's like tonight only, Aurora Borealis.
Well, this is what happened. So that happened. Then we got home, and I said to Billy, "I've seen on the news today that there's going to be an aurora, but like the Aurora Borealis,
yeah.
Northern Lights, in like
Aurora
that you can
Borealis
see."
at this time of the year in this part of the country, localized entirely in your kitchen.
Yes.
That you can see.
May I see it?
And she spent, right, early on this year in January, spent £2,000 going to Iceland to see the Northern
Aw.
Lights, right? And they never saw them. They didn't see them. They went
Aw,
twice.
jeez.
They went twice, and both times it was a no-show, so never saw them. And then on
Saw 'em
Friday
last
night,
or this weekend.
Friday night in the UK, totally for free, 20 minutes from where I live, we went to, like, it's fairly dark, you know, there's no street lights there.
Yeah,
and it's-
street
have
light
you-
pollution.
Have either of you ever seen it, apart from obviously this week?
Yeah, every time I play Skyrim.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like that at all, can I just say? Nothing
is.
like that. No, it isn't. There's
Totally
nothing
like
like
Is there a
that.
big
Pictures you sent look just like it.
Is there a
They
big
do.
sound that goes?
They do. But that's to the naked eye. They're not like that at all. So when you look up with the naked eye, it looks
Naked.
it just looks like grey clouds. It just looks like grey streaks in the sky. So you can see them, but they're not coloured at all. So there's no colour. So you can see where they are, but you just can't see any colour. There was a little hint of reddish sort of pink at the bottom. But other than that, you couldn't see anything until you took photographs of them. And it was only at that point that you could actually see what was going on. It's
It's
just
like the
a
opposite
weird-
of Instagram. It looks really cool, but the reality is like,
It
I
only
guess
looks
that's not
really,
the opposite. That is
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah,
That is
yeah. It
Instagram,
only
yeah.
it only looks
That
really
is Instagram.
cool when you take a photo of it with like a long
Yeah.
exposure. It's just
Same
the
is
weirdest
true,
thing.
by the way, of my butt. So
Is it the same with your butt?
yeah,
But I got
it's
some
totally
really,
boring until you get that camera.
really great pictures, and it was absolutely, honestly, this place, normally during the day on a sunny day, you might get a few people there because it's a nice place to go for a walk. That night, there was over like 200 people there parked up on this bridge
Dude,
in
I
the
thought you were
middle
gonna
of
say
nowhere.
2,000.
No, I mean it wasn't quite that.
There
But it
aren't
was
2,000 people that live in the north.
no, there aren't.
You should have. you
There's only-
should have
there's only, like-
charged admission.
There's more goats than there are people in the north.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with goats. Don't hate on goats.
But
But when they're
Ultimate-
driving on the roads, Duke, they're dangerous.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You gotta adapt to them.
Hmm.
They got places to be.
here's the upshot, right? On my bucket
What's
list
the
was to
upshot?
see the Northern Lights, right? So
Yeah.
at some point, was probably going to
There you
spend a
go.
lot of money going
Yeah.
to Norway.
So
or
Stu's just
somewhere like
proud.
that to see
Stu's
them.
proud of the fact that he saved a bunch of money.
I have saved a bunch of money, and I got to see them for free, and it was pretty amazing. I've got to say, best birthday pretty much ever.
Stingy
Yeah, yeah.
Best birthday
Stuart.
ever.
Stuart the stingy lad.
Yeah.
Best birthday ever. Just
All
unbelievably amazing. I was just blown away that you could see it. And it was just the weirdest thing. You looked up and it was kind of like a corona. It was really odd in the middle. And then it sort of
Big deal.
streaked. It sort of streaked out from there, like in every direction. It was just the weirdest thing when you looked at it.
And
So
it shows you how fucking scary that sun is.
yeah, oh yeah. There's been, by the way,
Ooh, geomagnetic storms.
It's
What,
a
what?
once in 20 years event. Apparently, there's like 4 storms all at the same time on top of each other. So that's what's caused it, and they're all pointing at Earth. So they're all pointing in the same direction. So
Great-
that's why it happened.
Great aim.
Come here,
Have you
watch
seen?
out, Earth.
Have you seen
Yeah.
how big Earth is from the sun's point of view? It's like this
I know
little
it's tiny,
dot.
tiddly, tiny,
It's great.
tiny. But yeah, sent all
Yeah.
those particles our way, and that's what we got as a result. And you could see it as far as London.
Thanks,
Apparently,
son.
people in London took pictures of it.
Yeah, I woke
So
up and
that's
everybody was just
right.
like taking pictures of it. I was like, great, no one told me. Thanks.
No one told you. I
You should
assumed
keep
you'd be
with
up on it.
things.
Ginny, I don't know when we thought I was actually away somewhere. And he's like, where did you go?
Well, yeah, because usually when people see the aurora,
Down
they
the
go
pub.
away.
And I was like 20 minutes from
Yeah.
where I live.
Yeah. Then after that, I saw it on Reddit, and everybody was like, and then there was the Homer
from my
Simpson.
toilet.
There was a Homer Simpson like sort of meme where everybody was showing him
Yeah.
the aurora borealis, and he was just like
Mm.
not involved. Yeah. Well,
So
I'm
it's
glad-
cool.
I'm
So
glad
I've had
that
a
it happened on
super cool weekend.
on your birthday. That's
And it
nice.
was, Eurovision. So
Oh,
that.
there's that as well. Yeah, we were obviously did
big
terribly
controversy.
well. Terrible again. And yes,
Yeah.
there was. Do you want to hear something interesting about the Eurovision? Something
I had
interesting?
No.
Go ahead.
It's your own fault. You mentioned
There's no
it.
such thing.
I didn't
they
mention it.
had
I
to-
did mention it. My bad.
when Israel sang their song, they had fake cheers, so everyone was booing, and
Wow,
they blocked
interesting.
that out and put fake cheers in its place on the TV
So
show.
pathetic, man.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a thing where people go to celebrate music, and just because you bomb a lot of children and cause 1 million people to almost starve to death, suddenly
Yeah.
people want to boo you. Like, what the hell?
You
Yeah,
bo-
who knew?
you,
Picky.
you bomb a couple of kids, and you never hear the end of it.
Bomb a couple of kids.
Ugh,
But yeah,
God,
so
wah,
people
wah.
were booing, and there was people putting on obviously Instagram, as we've alluded to earlier, videos from the auditorium, and it's just booze, like saying it
That's
was all
that's
fake. It's
talking
all
point.
fake. This is
Instagram,
what was
social
this is what it
media
was
that
really
some people
doing.
use. Yeah.
So that's
Well,
what
hey.
really was going on there.
Sure.
They didn't want people to know.
Yeah,
They
well,
didn't want
I
people
had
to
a
know.
fun weekend too. I didn't really do much this weekend. The Duchess is moving the sheep encampment or the goat encampment. And yeah, my students are taking the AP exam on Tuesday. So we're coming to the end of the intensive part of 3 of the classes. And it'll be fun time after that where we're going to watch Primer and talk about how the media works. It's going to be great.
That's cool.
So,
Primer.
yeah, and we
What a
finished
film.
watching Fallout.
Yeah.
So there's
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. Netflix is acting up.
Is it? Why? In what way?
Well, I don't know. Every so once in a while, these apps just don't recognize our Chromecast. So it happened with the HBO Max app, and I had to uninstall it or reinstall it. But I don't know my password for Netflix, so I got to look it up and be ready to punch it in. So
Oh
whatever,
God,
I'll
that's
do that tonight maybe.
such a faff, isn't it? Such
Ugh.
a faff.
What
Colin
about you, Chinny? What's been
Old
the highlight of your weekend?
I was just going to say, Colin Old Cars in the chat says, "I'm Scottish. All my friends saw the Northern Lights for the first time ever last night." So there you go.
Ah,
Ah, hey, they do.
We're all fooling.
Well,
I'm from North Kiltown.
weirdly, you'd have thought they'd have got the best view, but apparently it was in Whitby in Yorkshire where they got the best view of them. So there you go. There you
mhm.
go. So there you go. Chinny, anything exciting in your life?
Let me see. No. I filmed.
Cool.
I filmed a. Is this irony or
Oh
is,
God, here we
is
go
this
again.
coincidence, right?
Help us. Go on.
So, every 2 years we have to film this thing called the Deaf Fest. It's a festival, not for people, not death. It's not him.
Right.
It's for deaf people, right?
Oh, people who are deaf,
Yeah,
not
right.
people who are
Not-
dying.
Not death himself. He doesn't
Right,
throw a
okay.
festival, which I
Right.
imagine would be pretty fucking great.
That would be awesome. You got a lot
Would.
of heavy metal groups.
But right, anyway, Deaf Fest, which is a celebration of
Yes.
talent and all this sort of stuff of deaf people.
Mhm. Yes.
When we filmed it 2 years ago, the speakers were so loud during the party that I almost went deaf. Is that?
No, that'd be coincidence.
Yeah, that'd be
There's nothing
just yeah.
oppositional there. It
No,
has to be
there isn't.
oppositional.
Yeah, but like I'm at a deaf fest.
I know I can see what you're saying.
If they were raising money to help people hear better, that would be one thing. But that's not what they're doing.
God,
Well,
I
they
hate this.
possibly are. They possibly
know.
are helping
No,
raising
they're
money. I don't know.
They're possibly raising money for spinal meningitis, but they're not.
Okay.
No,
so it's
they're-
not a fundraiser. This Deaf Fest.
No,
then?
no. It's a celebration of deaf people. What they have movies that they show, dancers, performances,
Sure.
businesses, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
and then they have a disco at the end,
Speaking of which, we know
because
what's
there's
up.
different degrees of deaf people. So some people have the
Right.
operation where they can hear. Which, by the way, if my mom was born now, she would have that, and she'd be able to
Yeah,
hear.
a cochlear implant or whatever it is.
I don't know what you get up to in your own time,
Yeah.
mate, but whatever. Yeah, so you know, I met a couple of people. Met this girl. And she was, I don't know, she was in her 20s, and she was born deaf, just like my mom was, and she could speak and hear, and you still have to sign to her a little bit, but you know, so it's incredible, really.
To be
how
fair,
she's
I
gone.
mean, this is ideal for you because you can actually sign.
I
and
can,
stuff, so
yeah,
can-
and it's
yeah.
kind of rude because I'm a lot of the deaf people that have interpreters with them, and they're very lovely and nice, and they're there to do a job. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
like somebody turning up to your kitchen, Stu, with a sandwich. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like I'm interrupting, you know.
You're already equipped.
Yeah, because I know some of the people already, and I'm signing to them, and I'm not a fast signer, but I can get by. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, like Duke with his French. You know what I mean? He'll probably get by in France.
Oui.
But French people would still look at him and say, "Go away, you yank." So
Yeah,
I'm what
That's
they call
cute, American.
I'm a coder, aren't I? That's what I am. I'm a coder.
Yeah,
that's
you are.
that's the term.
I'm. It's funny you mentioned. I actually memorized a sign this past week because we do this activity with very short stories, and there's one that involves a deaf person,
Oh yeah.
and she says that
So he put
Wait,
his
is
hand
this no.
hand up to his
That-
forehead, and his
Yeah.
thumb is touching like side on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain it for the audio listeners.
what's man? Because I
Well,
remember
man,
man, but I can't
man is
remember now.
this. But,
Man, right.
Yeah, but
right,
it's different
okay.
in America. It's different. So
Yeah, American Sign Language. So that
Mm.
man on the train,
this is great for an audio show. by the way.
looked upset.
Yeah.
Upset is like stomach or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Upset. So anyway, yeah. So we all got
Yeah, and
talent
then,
with sign language.
when
You're
the
not
bl-
special, Chinny.
And then but the problem is when you filming a
Yeah.
Deaf Fest, you've got international signers on stage, you've got American signers on stage, you've got to
interesting, yeah.
cover it all. So you come across a lot
You got
of
that guy from South Africa who's pretending to know sign language.
yeah. Like, he was there. He's the star of the show. And then it's sort of weird because you sort of like, you know, like there's a comedian, there's a deaf comedian, and comedy for deaf people isn't like the same. Do you know what I mean? It's not a like for. He's not going, oh, bloody airline food. Oh, you know what I mean? It's kind of
Right.
like mime in a way, but he is telling
Yeah.
a story. But it's like
Right.
they're all cracking up, these people, and I can sort of see what he's saying. But this one comedian is really hard to read. I can't understand him too much. But I sort of said to the interpreter, like, "What's he saying?" Like, and he just went, "Never mind. Deaf comedy is a bit strange if you're not used to it, sort of thing." And basically, the story was like he got caught in the toilets having a wee or something like that, right? And it was like they were all cracking up. They're like, "This is the best thing they've ever seen." So it's like a weird, it's a weird like thing. It's a different type of a performance. It's interesting.
Yeah, different type of humor.
Yeah, and you know, it's an interesting. Every time we cover it, it's interesting, and yeah, I always come across people that because there's a guy who's in the snooker league, and he's deaf, and he was there, so I saw him there, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" So, and they're all there.
I came to see if you wanted to play a game of snook.
And the awards and everything started like the ceremony that we have to live stream starts at 7 and it finishes about 10:30, 11, and then the after party finishes at 4. But we didn't work till 4. But I got home about 2:00 last night. So yeah.
Like, is this a thing that the people who go to it, they look forward to every year? Is this like a
it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Like there's
makes sense.
people. There's this vlogger there. She's from China and she's got a following.
Nice.
There's like you know, influencers that we don't know about. You know, the sort of equivalent of like, I don't know, like sort of like an online personality YouTuber, but for deaf people that we just have no idea who that person is, and he's there. And everybody's like taking selfies with him. So it's this whole ecosystem that you just don't get involved with. And there's like a sitcom that they showed, and there's some actors from the sitcom, and it's basically The Office, but like in a community center sort of thing.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like
Cool.
Yeah, it's this whole world that you're like, all this exists.
Ecosystem, all on its own.
Yeah, yeah. So there you are. So that's what I did on.
Very cool.
That's what last
Ginny,
night. Last night. Yeah.
Ginny, got to ask you the question. What do you think about the end of the World Championships? Got to ask you this.
Oh yeah, so that finished this week, didn't it? God,
Yeah.
it's been a long old week. It feels like.
I
Yes.
know, it does. Yeah, it felt like ages ago, didn't it? But
So
yeah,
the-
what did you think?
So the Snooker World Championships, the controversy this year is that most of the seeds got knocked out. So this is Snooker Corner. Snooker Corner. Most of the seeds got
I'm
knocked
not
out.
making a jingle for that.
By
No.
seeds, I mean people that are already in the top 16 when the
People who
tournament
are
starts.
good,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Suppose they're all good, Stu. So a lot of them were getting knocked out. Ronnie's the one that everybody sort of knows. He got knocked out by Stuart Bingham, who's also a brilliant player. Judd Trump, who everybody sort of knows, he got knocked out by Jack Jones. He played very, very bad. So the last four was Stuart Bingham, Kyron, Jack Jones, and someone else that I can't remember. Yeah, and then the Kyron won it, and I think Kyron's a good winner, Stu, because he's a hard worker. He's a good guy. He seems like a nice bloke. He works hard. He's a family man. He did all the right things. He kept fit. He ate the right diet. He stayed energized. He's been there before. And he's good. He's not like Ronnie. Like when Ronnie plays and he wins, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not bothered really. I just want to go running. Fuck snooker. I fucking hate it." Whereas Kyron, he's like more of a he loves snooker. He said he was born to play it. He's played it since he was 6. He loves the game. He's just a nice.
It
like
was
a nice guy.
just to say though, it was a scrappy final.
I think their arses were going.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like domination.
No.
A little bit, but
Well, you've got Kyron, it's his second final, and he's never won it before, and he's always wanted to win it. So he sort of stumbled over the line, and then you've got Jack Jones, who no one really knows him. Like he's sort of an unknown snooker player. He did well in the Crucible last year, but no one expected him to do any well, and he got to the final. So his arse was going, and he did really well to come back as much as he did, to be fair. But
yeah, he did.
And he seemed like an all right guy, But I liked the fact that he just wouldn't go away. Do you know what I mean? He's like a dog, like
he kept on
biting on
going
your
at
leg.
it,
You just
didn't he?
couldn't
He kept
shake the
going at
fucker
it.
off.
Yeah, he did.
So I liked
He never
it.
quite ran away with it, did he? He was always kind of nipping.
He did,
nipping at
you
his
can't make
heels.
it easy for him. He won. He
No.
was 7-1 up or 7-0 up at the start, Kyron.
Yeah.
And there's no way Jack has got to make it easy. He's got to work for his world champ. But I think the best player of the tournament won, to be fair, Stu. And people say, oh, if you'd have played Ronnie, you'd have been fucked. If you'd played Trump, you'd been fucked. You can only play the players that you get put in front of.
you.
So,
That's it. That's all you can do.
And he won. He won them all. So I don't know. Some people are saying, oh, if Ronnie was on the right thing, but he wasn't. He got knocked out.
Yeah,
so,
no, he did. He got beat. He got beat end of the day.
What I say about Ronnie is that he was struggling against Stuart Bingham, and that's when there's a thing called like Doorgate, where he was shouting at people coming through the doors at the top, and he was shouting at the referee and all this sort of stuff.
He let it get to him.
Basically, when Ronnie's up against
it,
it, when he feels the pressure, he's a fucking knob, and he starts like doing this and doing that, and
goes into a meltdown.
He does. When he won it 2 years ago, he had a go at the ref. He's just a bit of he has a wobble, and he let it all get to him, I think. So anyway, that's my conclusion of the Worlds. Not the best, not the best Worlds.
Not the best, but
it was good. Yeah,
different. It's a change. I always think it's a change.
Did you? I don't know if you
somebody
saw.
unexpected wins.
I don't know if you saw John Higgins beat Mark Allen, but that was probably the best moment of the whole thing.
I didn't know. I caught little bits of it. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan, but I do. If it's on and I see it's on, I'm like, oh, I'll watch that for a bit.
Very quickly, it's decider, and if John Higgins loses, he's out the top 16, and John Higgins has been in the top 16 for like 30 years or whatever. So, if he loses, he's out the top 16. He plays for a double, gets the double, and clears up, and it's an incredible clearance. So
that's what you got to do.
Yeah,
by the way, apparently Kyron Wilson has said he's going to retire before he's 45. Apparently he's going to play till, and that's it. He's done.
Well, he's about 14, 15 years away from that. So 13 years away from. He's only 32, I think. So long time. Anyway, fuck all that shit.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Fuck it all.
We're here for talking about video games.
Yeah, let's do some
video
video game talk.
I'm not a nerd, I'm a video game enthusiast.
Sure you're not.
Aw, yeah.
What you been playing? What you been playing?
Can I say it's bloody boy? I am absolutely boiling, flipping hot,
Warm, isn't it?
stuffy.
It's
We've
finally
just had,
warm enough to open up the door here in
I
Wisconsin.
know, we've just had
door
lightning,
open.
thunderstorms, and
Yeah.
shit. And
Yeah.
oh my god, it's so hot.
I was hearing a dog whining. I'm like, where's there a dog near here?
I've got sweat running down the side of my face here. I'm that hot.
Great. Let's talk about video games, shall we?
Damn.
Who wants to start?
I'm gonna start because boy, oh boy, oh
Okay.
boy, have I played the weirdest game I've ever played this week.
Oh, is it the letter?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
dude, that game's
no,
weird,
no, no,
man.
no.
No.
So- I saw
Even
this
weirder than the letter?
on something I was reading, and they were like, "Oh, this is the best horror game I've ever played," right?
Oh, dude.
So I was like, "Fine, let's give this a go." So I was going to buy it because it was like £8. It was cheap as chips, but then it had a demo. I'm like, "Huh,
Ooh.
it's got a free demo. I don't even have to buy this thing." I wonder if
Oh,
it'll run on the Steam
yeah.
Deck. It's like unknown. Does it run? Unknown. Don't know. May run.
Unknown.
May not run. Who cares?
Hmm.
So I downloaded demo, and it's called Pools. That's all it's called. Pools. Pools.
Isn't that what you
Like
do when
Pools
you
of Radiance.
when you play the lottery? Stu? Isn't it like
It
the
could
pools?
be that's that's the football pools.
Remember that
That's what-
when they used
I
to go
do.
around and collect
I've
the
done
pools?
it.
Yeah,
Done it, football pools.
I remember I used to I had to pay the guy when I was a kid. Like my mum
Yeah,
says, "Oh,
yeah.
take the money to the
Yeah.
pools, to the pool man."
We had a syndicate. We all picked our stuff. Had a syndicate.
Mm.
Yeah, pools. But yeah, this is just a way. Right, I've never even heard of this genre of video games. I don't know whether you two have. It's
Horror
called.
movies?
Cack.
No, they're called liminal or backroom
Yeah.
video games. They're called backroom or
so messed
liminal.
up, man.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
even
heard
more
of these.
messed up than your usual horror.
Never heard of these. Now, some of these
Ah.
apparently have monsters in and jump scares,
Oh, dude.
but
one-
this doesn't. This doesn't have any of that
Oh,
stuff.
Got a bunch of pools.
It's just a bunch of pools. So it's like each. So I think there's about 8 levels in the game.
It looks like you're in
Okay.
the worst fucking leisure centre swimming pool.
It is, yeah,
in
because
the world.
it's a maze. So each level is a maze. So you've got to work out how to
Fucking
get to the end of the maze. So it is very Escher-like. You know, a lot of this stuff is completely couldn't happen in real life. I mean, it cost a lot of money to build something like this because it's just ridiculously weird. Super realistic looking graphics. So when you're walking around, it's very
All you need is one
reminiscent.
tile set and you're good.
Yeah.
Easy
But
to
it's-
make it
I,
realistic.
I,
All you need is
I,
water
I'd
and
hate to
tiles.
be the copy paste guy.
No, but I mean, when I say realistic lighting, realistic textures,
Yes.
water
yes.
looks real.
Realistic pools.
It's
Realistic looking
weird
pools.
wide lens camera
There's a
angle.
kid pissing in the
Yeah,
corner.
it's done right. A lot of these games are done from a VHS video perspective.
It looks like a GoPro
it's like back in the
perspective.
day.
Looks like a
Yeah.
GoPro perspective.
So there's a bit. I mean, to give you an example of this, there's a bit in the game where you can. There's like a springboard, what looks like a springboard, in this black void in the middle of this huge black circle. So you can jump off the springboard, and then it does this, you know, like an old VHS tape where it all goes a bit stuttery when it pauses,
Yeah.
and then does a quick rewind, and you end up back where you started. So you can't die, like no matter what you do, it doesn't. You never die in this game. Don't even know how to describe it. It's very eerie, is the best way to describe it. And there was one moment when I was like freaked out slightly playing it because
Why?
right, I'll tell you
Wandering
why.
around.
So you're wandering around, you know, and there's all these weird noises about you can't hear all this, but there's all these weird noises, and occasionally you'll hear this like disembodied radio voice and stuff like that. So it always gives you the impression.
Sound
Well,
like that?
Not really.
But
It
that-
always kind of gives you the impression that either someone's just been there, or you know what I mean, or there's someone else in there with you, but you just can't quite,
Oh,
you just
I
never
was
quite
feeling
see them.
somebody
And then
Sort,
there was a
sort of
bit-
like Gone Home, isn't it? I suppose Gone Home. or
Yeah, it's a
something.
little bit like that. There's no real story. It's just kind of
Onto the
find
pool.
the exit to the maze in the pools. And there's
Yeah.
one bit right near the end when you're nearly out. When I eventually find the exit in this level. It's the first level you get in the demo. And you come round the corner and there's a handrail just attached to a wall in this massive area. And I'm like, well,
There's
this
a
must
hand on it, a severed hand.
you're almost right, but not quite.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, that must lead to somewhere because it's a handrail. So I followed the handrail, and at the end of that little area, under the water, is a ladder. You know, like the ladders you get down the side of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So there's one of those into a hole, and on it there's two hands holding onto the top rung. You know, like a hand on the top, like someone's just climbed into it. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then this hand poked out of the water at me, and then just disappeared. They climbed down inside it, and I'm just like,
It was like, give you the V's and then pop
it was
down
just
in the water.
freaky, and I'm like, that is just
See
a
you
bit
later, bitch.
It's fucking weird. Who was that? What the hell are they doing inside the
There's a
hole?
big slide.
Dude,
Yeah, so you can go down the
Dude.
water slides as well, by the way, which is
Dude,
really fun.
I've sent you a YouTube clip which I think you should play, which I think
Okay.
would describe what happens in this game. Is that okay?
Oh, okay, cool. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Yeah,
Here we go.
totally.
You see, I mean, even in this bit,
Alright.
there's some like artwork on the wall, and there's
Right
like a
this way.
chair.
Hold on.
Watch your
this-
step.
This is this game.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, they're in the woods. The camera keeps on moving. I think they're looking for some witch or something. I don't know. I wasn't listening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Something about a map. Nothing's happening.
And so forth.
There you go.
So I'm assuming that's the description of the
stuff.
Blair Witch Project,
Yeah.
is
It's
it?
exactly like the description of this game.
this
Yeah.
game, yeah.
But no, something happens because you do
Pools. I
get
mean,
eventually
pools.
find the exit if you look for long
Come on,
enough.
Chinny. Eventually find the exit.
You do.
And then
Game
what
of the year.
happens? Do you go home?
Apparently, you start the second chapter, and from what I
Start the
can
second
gather,
level.
although I haven't played anymore, it just gets gradually weirder and weirder the further into the game you get.
It's like,
So
I'd like it where you just,
Eventually, there's a pool with no water.
what I would like, Stu. This is what all
Yeah.
I'm asking, right?
Yeah.
Is that you
Yeah.
get out, and you get in your car, you go home, and you have a little sandwich. Look, that's, and you're like, that was a weird day.
No,
Yeah.
you go to another pool and it's like a lot of chlorine.
Now-
Do you have any explanation what the fuck is going on?
No, I mean, the only explanation is it does feel a little bit portalish, right? And in that way, what I mean is, right at the when you first start out in the game, you're sort of on the floor. So you're on the floor.
That's all it takes to compare a game to Portal
no,
now?
listen,
you start
listen,
out,
listen.
you're on the floor.
You're standing up.
Listen.
How many games have
And you
Okay, go
you
ahead.
stand up, and then when you look up, there's a hole in the ceiling with a ladder, and it feels like someone's thrown you down there. You know, like some
Okay.
sort of experiment. Let's see if you can, like a mouse in
gotcha.
a lab. It just
mean-
feels like that's about as much narrative as
Sure.
you're getting. It's like you've been.
And-
I
and-
mean, if you look at the beginning of the video, it shows that happening.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you-
you
so
know,
you get up
the
and you
main
look up
difference
and it's
after
like-
that is right, and then after that,
How the
main
hell did they
difference
end
is
up in here?
Portal is fun. There's a good story. There's a lot of humor, and in this game, there's tiles and pools.
I mean, this isn't going to appeal to everyone. I mean,
Interest
let's
anyone?
put it that way.
Uh,
But it's
Anyone?
they're gonna be
it's
fun.
kind of relaxing, but in a
But
kind
yeah,
of
you
dark.
get to wander around in pools.
Didn't you
A
just say that
dark
you
and
like got
oppressive
scared
way.
shit of
Yeah,
like?
yeah. Well, I said it's relaxing,
relaxing
in
until the hand is beckoning to you to
in a
join it in the
dark-
sweet embrace
dark
of
and-
death.
dark and oppressive way.
What do you do for relaxing? Like a colonic?
Yeah.
Hang out with
Well, I
severed
mean,
hands. in
it's really
pools.
well done. I mean, it's slick and it,
It looks nice.
Great. It does. It looks
Yeah, it
amazing.
does look-
Even
I
on
mean,
the
it looks-
Steam Deck, it looks pretty impressive considering that thing's like a potato, compared to a gaming PC.
It is a potato.
Um,
That's what
considering how
Gabe's
terrible
not.
the
That's
graphics
what
are.
It's a
Gabe's not telling
potato.
you. It's just a potato. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
potato, but yeah, it runs remarkably well. God, I look like I've been running. I'm absolutely sopping wet.
Yeah.
The fuck, I'm so hot.
Yes.
Mm.
Jesus
It's all that
Christ.
hair.
I'm a potato.
I think it is. I'm like, my
I
clothes
can
are stuck to
see
me.
We'll go ahead
Stu,
and get naked,
I can
and then you'll
see
feel better.
stuck to me.
sweat on your brow.
I know. I am absolutely sopping wet. I'm going to have to
Get a
wipe my brow.
fan, dude.
So I'm going to leave you two guys to it for a second while I go and mop my brow because I'm
Alright.
literally got sweat dripping in my
He's
eyes.
gonna
I'm
go
that hot.
stick
no
his head in
problem.
the ice box.
Too hot.
We're gonna look after
So-
the show while
okay.
you're gone.
You look after
Yeah,
the show.
we're gonna
and
keep
I'll be
talking
back
about
in,
pools.
I'll be back in a moment.
No, it's gonna be
Speaking
great
of-
content. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We need to get a big
Alright.
fan.
Okay. Yeah. Stu's he's getting naked now. He's taking off all his clothes.
God, this
Yeah.
game, this pool game looks shit, man. Looks awful.
I don't get it. I mean, it's a maze. That's
I don't know what it
fine.
is.
I've
What
never
is it?
been
How
into
does
mazes.
he find
Do you
these
like
games?
mazes?
What does he Google? Like stupid fucking video
No,
games?
he said someone was saying, "Oh, it's really
Who?
weird.
Who?
You gotta try
Was
it."
it some bloke
I don't- he just
hiding
said
behind
someone.
a bin?
Hey, you like video games?
Hey, you
Or
like video
pools?
games?
There's a video game called
You look like a
Pools.
guy who looks like look at Stu's hair. He's ridiculously
He's just
long.
wandering around.
It's so long.
Yeah, he is.
He looks like
Yeah.
he's in his in Mission Impossible 2 phase. Oh,
I
Stu.
can bloody hear you. You know?
David
Oh,
Foster
really?
Wallace.
Right, okay.
I could hear you.
How could you hear
giving
us?
me grief through my earphones. I
What
could
was-
hear you.
I said you're in your
Yeah, but
Mission.
you didn't have him on.
I said you was in your Mission Impossible 2 phase. Of,
Oh.
you know,
I
we
said
know.
you're in your missionary position phase.
Well, there could be that as well.
Hey.
Anyway,
so
so
Pools, you giving it a
Pools.
thumbs up,
Looks-
huh? You
Oh,
gonna
I,
buy
yeah.
it?
I did know. I
Looks
feel
great,
like I'm gonna.
Stu.
I feel like I'm gonna buy it.
really,
Yeah, you should. You should reward the developers for
I
making
do.
such an innovative game. What other game has a pool in it?
Yeah, exactly. Which one has slides? You know what I mean? That you can go
Yeah.
down.
and one of those plastic
should have
chairs
us,
that
like
you
a-
get in the garden.
Water
Plastic
park
chairs.
simulator. That would
Rubber
be
ducks.
fun.
There's rubber ducks in it, by the way. Giant ones.
Nice.
Handrails. All
Handrails.
right, so you're done talking
tiles.
about pools then. Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Pool.
Everyone should
Okay,
play it.
great. Okay, well, Rocket League is a game I've been playing, but I have nothing new to say about that.
Thank God.
I've been playing Fallout 76 because, you know, we've been watching Fallout, so I'm like, I want to play
Oh.
Fallout now that I watched Fallout. I think they made some kind of adjustment to the game since the last time I played it because they are just pissing ammo at me now. I got 1,000 ammo and I'm still only like level 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I remember being desperate for ammo before, like creeping around, holding a machete, you know, trying not to get noticed. Now I'm like wandering around.
It's weird. They want you to have fun. It's weird, isn't it?
I guess so, but yeah, it's you know, it's good. Like I just got to the Mistress of Mystery quest line, which is great. But it's crazy because I found the house, and I thought it would trigger the quest when I go in the house, but it doesn't. You got to find the person. And like they're in the middle of nowhere. So I had to go looking up, like, how do you start this quest? Because I guess the last time I stumbled upon the person randomly and then it started the quest. So I would have just like, I don't know. I think it's weird when you come upon the house and there's all this obvious story built into the house, but you can't trigger the quest unless you.
Well, usually it does
randomly find the
trigger the
person.
quest, doesn't it? It usually
Yeah,
goes, oh, you found
right,
something.
most of the time.
And you're like, okay,
Yeah,
this is the
in
thing.
Fallout 4, there's that dude who's like Cabot Lodge, who's like, I need your help with something. Or his bodyguard finds you out in the world and he's like, hey, my employer wants your help.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I've got
anyway,
a question for you, Duke.
Go ahead, fire away. Yeah.
Is Fallout 76 better than Starfield?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not hating Starfield. I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, but I'm still I think it's a good game. It's not nearly as good as it should have been. It's not nearly as good as Fallout 4 or Skyrim, but it is a good game. And Fallout 76 it feels cobbled together because it is. Like they had one set of things that it launched with and they added other things and then they keep putting in, you know, and it's also got the whole daily, weekly thing, which I've been thinking a lot about lately. There's people whose job it is to come up with like the daily event.
Oh yeah.
And like, it just seems like a really boring job.
Can I just say,
It's like you got to rotate between certain things.
am I going mentally here? But I'm looking at this, and I have played this a little bit. I don't remember it looking like a claymation animation or something. This looks like it's on like
Animation?
sets.
What are you talking about?
It like I'm looking at it on the screen here, and it looks like it's a set made out of stuff. You know what I mean? Rather than a computer
Well,
game.
there are like
It's
set
weird.
up-
It looks very weird.
like Vault 76 when you start it is like got cardboard stuff and balloons and things.
I mean,
And so,
aesthetically,
I
they
don't
look
know.
like little models. Do you not know what I mean? It
Well, it's
looks
in
like
third person at the moment. this
no, I
person.
know, but even the
too.
main character looks a bit cartoony somehow. I don't know, a bit animated. I don't know how to better.
Well,
to
he is
say it.
It looks
animated.
exactly like every
No,
other
but he looks
Fallout
like he's made out of plastic, like a action man. Do you know what I mean? It looks like he's got
Talking
this
about, like,
weird texture to his
Herod,
clothing.
Herod Halibut.
Yes, that's what I mean. It has a look of that
I
somehow.
don't know
Like
why- I don't.
I don't know how you can't see that. I'm
It's
looking
just,
at this
it's
and
just
thinking,
the graphics, I think, Stu. It just looks
Yeah.
that way.
the aesthetics are really weird. I don't know. It's just a weird.
Maybe it's
aesthetic.
aged.
I don't know. It just looks weird. It looks like an animated game. I don't know.
I think
how
it's the
better
dim
that-
lighting and the fact that there are cardboard cutouts in the game, and so it's
Yeah.
messing with your head.
It is. It's making me think it's
Yeah.
claymation when it isn't.
Oh.
Anyway,
So and I was thinking about what Chinny asked last time about,
Oh no.
Are the stories any good? And the stories are the stories. They're not great. They're not terrible. Like I did there's one early on where you got to go find this robot head, and then she's like, "I need you to get me a body," and she's in a jug, and she's just like, "You need to get me a body," and if you don't have the skill, you're not able to get her the best body. So you can be like, "Hey, I got you this subpar body," and she's like, "What? No, I want a Saltron body." And one of the options for the dialogue is, "Hey, you're a robot head in a jug right now. You'll take what you can get and like it." So I thought that was pretty funny. But then I realized Fallout's never really been about the stories. I mean, there's some good stories in some Fallout games. New Vegas probably has the best stories, but mostly it's about wandering around and exploring. And in that sense, this is a big world you can run around and explore.
it nails that, does it, Duke? Is that what you're saying?
It does. There's a lot of stuff out there.
But is
So,
it?
I'm having
But
fun
is
with
it interesting stuff though? You can have a lot of something, but it might be a bit boring.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I like to just run around and kill things, and this has a lot of that. So yeah, it does. It is interesting.
What would
I'm
you
having
say is
fun
your
with it.
favourite Fallout game, Duke?
Well, it's probably 4. I think 4. Each time they get better looking, and they're I'm fascinated. People make fun of Fallout 4, I guess, but I really like the concept of like, are you going to side with robots being people or not? Because if you don't, then you might be Brotherhood of Steel or the Minutemen, and if you hate robots, then you're obviously going to be the Institute. But if you believe robots are people like me, then you're going to be Underground Railroad every time, baby, getting those robots to freedom.
I remember the mission where I killed all of those Underground Railroad.
I bet you did.
Take that.
I can just see you doing that.
Yeah, I remember going in there
Yeah.
going, "Hey guys, hey, how's it going?
Hey,
I'm here to
how's it
help you.
going?
David, we'll show you go. See you later. I'll see you at poker tonight." Yeah, I remember. that.
Yeah.
Or did you use the laser gun?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Kill them all. Kill
So
them
that's
all.
Fallout 76. Still fun.
Decimated by
And every day when you log in, they give you free stuff in the Atom shop. So hey, free stuff.
Yeah, that's always a bonus. Free stuff is always good. But if you buy a normal video game, you just get that stuff included. You don't have to get it for free.
Not necessarily. Sometimes you just don't get that stuff. I mean, you get lots of
Sometimes.
stuff, obviously, but this is different stuff every day.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
they want
most
to
of the
keep
time
you
it's the same stuff, but still.
because they want to keep you coming back every day to see what
Well,
free stuff you're
exactly,
gonna
every
get.
day. Do the daily quest, get the
What
free
free
stuff.
stuff am I gonna get? And some poor
Yeah.
dude at Bethesda sat in some office somewhere, and
Yeah.
they're going, "Have you got that daily quest done yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'm 2 days ahead. We've got plenty of quests
Yeah.
up my arse. I'm just gonna pull one out of my
That's right.
skyrocket for tomorrow.
This
Don't
quest
you
is the
worry."
same one you did last week. Yeah, well, we're just
Yeah, no one
rotating
cares. They'll have forgotten by now. Who
Yeah.
cares? They
Well,
don't
they
even know
expect
what
that
I'm
this is
doing.
just what happens.
Yeah,
All right, so who's next? Chinny, you got anything?
did he?
I've only played one game.
Oh God! And that's presumably the play
Play
my
My
game,
Game,
bitch. Is that it?
Mhm.
Oh Jesus!
So we're talking about that then.
Are we talking about that? Shall we leave that and I'll talk about something else? Duke talk about something else. No, we're doing it.
I want Chinny to be a part of
Yeah,
this discussion.
Play my game, bitch.
Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection.
Now, before
Yeah,
you give
bitch.
me shit,
Yeah, but Chidi, just
Let me
come
give you
just
some shit.
just a minute. Like, can I just say this is 3 weeks on the trot now?
before you give me shit,
3 weeks.
Stu, before you give me shit,
Yeah.
ask me how long I've
Fucking-
played this game this week.
How
Oh
long did you play
God.
this game for, Chinny?
Fucking
Long time.
loads.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Really? More
Yeah.
than 5 hours?
More than 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Ask me how much I've been talking about this game this week.
This game.
Well, I saw you post on the Discord that it was very addictive, and I was like, he must be joking. Chinny likes to play his cards not close to his chest, like inside his chest. He'll lie, he'll pretend like he hated it, and then be like, I actually liked it.
Can we just
I
say
don't
this
trust anything Chinny
game
says.
is a rabbit hole? It's a rabbit hole game. It's one of those games. Once you're in, you forget like 7 hours has gone by, and you're like,
See, I didn't have that
what
experience.
the
Are
hell
you kidding?
happened
I played this at like
didn't have
I
that.
started this about 10 o'clock, right? And I made a couple villages, made a couple houses, made a thing, and then it was half 2.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, where the fuck?
Okay.
And I immediately, I think I said out loud, shit. Like,
Yeah.
because this game is dangerous for me right now. I can't have games like this in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
got a
is
baby
this
to
is
take
what
care of, man.
this is what I term
Manor
as a-
Lords, by the way. Is the
Yeah,
name of the game.
yeah. This is what I
Manor
term as a
Lords.
lost time game, where you play
Yes.
it and you just lose time and you
Wow.
don't know where it went. Where did
Jesus.
those last
Lord.
4 hours go?
So,
So cool.
for those who don't know, this
How
is
that
a
happened.
village building game. It follows a very standard pattern of Banished and Kingdoms and Castles and all the rest of them. You have a few people that you start with. You have to build them houses. You have to get them getting food and chopping down trees, and then you can build more houses, and that recruits more people.
yeah,
you
get
set
some
up a
hunters. Don't forget the
marketplace,
hunters. You got to get hunters hunting.
hunters going, and then
Gatherers
berry
gathering.
gatherers.
Can I just say I have a little problem with the berry gatherers?
Go on.
Because if there's one thing I hate, like more than anything else in this world, is chefs who run restaurants and forage for ingredients, right? It
Why do you
is
hate
that I just think it's fucking the most ridiculous. Oh, I'm going to go foraging. Oh, I've got some fucking nettle leaves. Oh, I'm going to put those in a salad on the like dish of the day today. I was like,
But so
fuck
once
off.
upon a time, that was all
Stick
you
your-
had. You
do
didn't
you know
have
what
the
you should
choice
do?
of getting
Stick your-
industrial produced agriculture.
Stick your fucking nettles and berries up your ass, right? Just go and fucking buy some ingredients and cook something decent. Don't give me none of this
Okay.
fucking. I've got these people, right? And there are levels of foragers. Can I just say, right?
Huh?
And there are some that forage like fungi, you know, like mushrooms and toadstools and shit like that to put in the salads. And what they do is test them themselves first. And if they get ill, they don't use
Of
them.
course. You
And
don't
it's just
test them
like-
on random people.
What? What the fuck is wrong with you that you're risking poisoning yourself to serve a
'Cause they
mushroom
wanna-
on your
they wanna
menu?
Try something different.
I'm just like, no, just fuck off. Fuck off with your foraging.
All right,
Just
this isn't
Okay.
grow a
Stu's
lettuce.
Foods Rant
This
podcast.
is
all right.
Stu's complaining.
Uh,
So
time.
I've got a problem with them being called foragers. That's
Okay, all right,
that's what
fine.
I'm coming to.
So yeah, it's a game. I think the great thing about Manor Lords is that yeah, it's a city village building game. Great, fine. We've got loads of those. I think the difference is the detail. That's
What's
one.
a USP?
Yes,
What's a
there's a lot of
USP?
detail.
There's a lot of detail, so you can literally follow the people doing stuff. So
Oh
they,
yeah, you can zoom right.
They go in and then you can see them hunt animals, and there's animals there, and then
Yeah.
they bring them back.
You can
and,
do that with Banish, to be fair, but yeah.
And then the added
More detailed
element is and the problem with these games is when you get to a certain level, you're like, now what?
Now what?
Like the fish in
Right.
Finding Nemo when they're
Same with
finally
SimCity.
when they finally escape in Finding Nemo, they go, well, now what the fuck do we do? Like, you know.
Yeah.
But the great thing in this is that you're getting attacked. It's kind of like it
Oh
turns
no, you've got to
into
conquer the other
it
regions.
turns into
haven't you?
civilization, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Right.
the cool thing about it. And you get
So have
letters
you reached
from.
that point? Because I haven't reached that point.
I haven't even got fucking near it, right? I remember the game was saying, oh, you're gonna get attacked in like a year, right? First of all,
Mm.
that's very polite of you to give me a year heads up. That's very nice of you. Very,
Just so
very.
you know, I'm gonna
appreciate
be
that.
invading and
Because you've got to build some militia. You've got to build your army
Yeah,
and get all
and
that shit. So
The first time I played this game, right, and I was building my thing, I thought, oh, okay, like I don't know why, but I chose to ignore that I was going to get attacked, and I thought it can't be that bad. Maybe they're just going to kill a couple of them, right? And
yeah, kill a couple of your villagers. and
I'll
you'll
be
sorted.
fine, you know what I mean? Whatever. They'll, whatever. They'll just come through. They'll kill a few people, and I'll be fine. They came in and they fucking burnt the lot, right? The fucking lot. And I was like, shit. And I didn't have any. I had -6 logs. I was like, how do I get -6 logs?
Mike, this is set in medieval.
I
times.
understand that, Stuart.
What do you think happened
Lots of games
back
are set
then?
in medieval times.
Yeah, but
Lots
that's
of
what
things- Lots of
happened.
games.
This is
Banished
realistic.
didn't happen in Banished.
Yeah, but this is realistic. That's what probably would happen.
Well,
They'd be
some
like,
games
"Fuck you
claim to
lot,
be realistic
we're
and
gonna
they're not. So
burn, rape, and pillage. Job done.
I understand
mean,
it,
that's
right?
what
So,
they do.
so I thought, but why have I got -6 logs? Like, how do I get
Yeah.
-6?
because they took
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
they took all your logs and they left a note that said you owe us 6
You
logs.
know,
Six
6
logs, yeah,
so
yeah,
I couldn't
you owe
even
6
build
logs.
like the log thing. I couldn't even get going again. So I had to just delete that save and start the whole process again. So then I started
Yeah.
again, and when I got the thing that says you're gonna get attacked in a year, I really went into
You listen this time.
how the fuck do I deal
How do I
with
build
that?
an
Right.
army? How do I build an army?
And the answer is, it ain't easy, right? Because you're like,
Ain't easy.
no, because then you upgrade your houses, and to upgrade your houses, you've got to have this stuff, and then you've got to have a
You
blacksmith.
got to
and
have a
one
church, and in order to get the church, you got to have stone
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
And there's a
I was
lot of
like, "God damn,
resource
I got none of
management
that."
going
So
on.
I
There's
know
a
it's
lot
like,
of resource
and what's
management.
interesting about this is like, I thought you build an army, you build some sort of barracks, and you get 10 blokes, and they go in there and they train up and they become an army. But that's not
Yeah,
how a real village would work. It's
Oh.
like, but 20 of these blokes, and it is blokes, by the way, no women. You know, say what you will about
Yeah.
that. But
Again,
blokes.
it's medieval times.
It's medieval
Off,
times.
ladies.
So the blokes, 10 or 20 of these blokes have been assigned a weapon, and they have the weapons in their house. And when the time comes, they are part of the militia. They will start to defend the village. They have agreed.
Let's get them, boys.
Let's get them, boys. And that's it. And then they carry about their, so in the day, they might be berry picking and foraging and overpricing their
don't
restaurant.
get me started on foraging.
They might be digging for clay or whatever and selling roof tiles,
Yeah.
but when the shit hits the fucking fan, they become
Yeah.
warriors. Anyway, so they so he says, "Oh, an enemy's been spotted." I was like, "Right, here we go. They're coming, right?"
Yeah, they're in for a bollocks now.
And then I just about I didn't almost. I don't know what I'm saying. I only killed about 90% of them, right? And about 3 of them were left or something like that. And all my
And then let me ask this question, because I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to tell them, like, go get them, or do they?
Yes,
I mean, a lot of things in this game are automated.
Yeah, it turns into like a bit of an RTS. Yeah, like I was panicking because it does say, "Here's the controls. Good luck," and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know what to do. But it's fairly, it's fairly.
Yeah, it doesn't. Can we just say it doesn't do a lot of hand holding?
No,
this
no.
game. It's kind of like, get on with it.
There is a tutorial series of
There is
tutorial
tutorial.
windows.
A
at the start, but it
little
takes you
bit.
through a little bit. It takes you through
But it
the
only
basics.
a lot of the time it only tells you something if you click on it. So if you click on stuff, it'll go.
But it does.
This is what this does.
It does feel like a game that is very satisfying to find out through discovery and through
Oh
talking
yeah,
to other
it
people.
waits till you click on stuff to tell
But-
you, like
but-
say, when to tell you
But,
what it
but
does.
at work though, we've been talking about it, and like we've been saying, "Oh, have you done this? Have you done that?" And I'm like, "How do you make cloth and all this sort of stuff?" So we've just been talking about like how you do this, and I found out if you do this, you can do this.
There's a lot of depth to the game,
Yeah,
but it
there's
doesn't
loads.
brag about its depth. It's
No.
just like, you're gonna figure this out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like, "How the fuck do I get another ox?" Because I've only got one, and everybody's using that ox like a bloody whore.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere, isn't it?
that
You have
ox-
to do everything.
That ox is the hardest worker in my village, I have to
It
say.
is. It
Um,
is.
Very hard working ox.
Yeah, so
Strong
so,
like
so
a-
I killed
like
something. I killed most of them, which meant that they only burnt a few of my houses, which is nice.
Right.
Ah,
That's good.
And then they buggered off. They was like, "All right, I
Well-
feel like we've done enough damage here. Let's go." So
Yeah.
that I managed to sort of survive it.
take
Yeah.
that.
So that's as far as I got really, which doesn't sound like a lot, but this game just sucks.
So can I
time.
ask a question? Because I'll be honest, I started playing this, not really my kind of game.
Not your
just,
thing. Not your thing.
Not my thing.
Because it takes
Played it for a
takes
bit.
effort and
Realized I had played this in Next Fest because this was a demo in Next Fest.
yeah,
back in the
I
day.
remember playing the demo for
Yeah.
this a while ago as
So
well.
I played the demo and I was like, well, I kind of know what it is because I've played this already.
Mhm.
Can you play this in multiplayer where there's different people on each realm and then you're fighting against?
No,
each
but no,
other?
but I think,
don't think so.
these are some of the possibilities that could happen because they
Because
are
that would be
adding a
cool.
lot,
I
yeah.
could imagine that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
And you both start.
And
at
when
the
you
same-
start out,
both
it
start at the
says
same
like
time.
this is a labor of love. We've been working on it for 7 years, but it's not done. So
Yeah.
like, be aware of.
So
the fact
yeah,
that there may
but
be
that was
some
one thing that we talked about at work actually. Is like imagine playing it co-op or against someone, and
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
an RTS. How would it work? I don't know. You'd have to do super
Well,
quick,
each person would have a realm. You'd all start with nothing at the same time, presumably, and then build up your stuff.
Yeah,
in
but
your
you'd have to
armies
play
attack
like
each other.
17 hours at a time to get to the point where you
You'd have
know,
to be on at the same time. That's the
Yeah,
problem you've
that's
got,
the
isn't
problem. If you do, you could do it asynchronously. That would be
it?
quite cool.
Yeah.
Um,
There's got to be a way, but it's not going to be easy, is it?
No, so I'm guessing they're working that out. But what is already here? Because I don't think it's a finished game. What is already here is
No, it's classed as early access, isn't it?
it's pretty great. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm very happy with Manor Lords. Going to be playing it a lot more. I already knew I wanted to play it before we selected it because I don't know. Sometimes I just sort of hear about a game and I'm like, yes, I'm in.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I love it. Yeah,
can we just say
it's
the most wishlisted game on Steam ever?
Yeah.
Prior to its release, so people were.
It's
hyped.
one bloke.
Yeah, one bloke hyped for this game. Big
one
time.
bloke, just a dude.
I love it. I'll be honest. What I really love about it, even though it's not my thing, I can appreciate, how much time and effort and skill has got into building this, because it's even like the, GTA 4 zoom out from like right up close, right to an aerial view of the whole realm, and then zoom in at some other point wherever you like and have a look what's going on there, and then zoom back out again. It is very slick. Everything about it is slick.
It's GTA 5, by the way. But yes.
Oh yeah, GTA 5. Yeah.
There's a lot of like flourishes as well. When you zoom out to the map, the transition to the map is quite.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's slick, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like the sort of like the they call them barks, audio barks. When people shout stuff in video games, like NPCs shout.
Yeah.
So the audio barks that they give us, like, go here, go there. What am I doing? That kind of stuff is funny.
What the bloody hell am I doing this for?
Over here.
Yeah. And it's a good game that you could, once you've sort of learned the fundamentals and how to do it, that you'd play again and start again, and then you would turn the music off and listen to a podcast or listen to some music and just keep going. Do you know what I mean? It's a very renewable game, I feel like. A prison architect, I have the urge to just start a prison every now and again. And I feel like this is the same sort of.
Yeah, and I also think he's thought a lot about sort of stuff that helps people when they play in, like, so much as you can speed it up. So when something's being built, you can 4 times it, 12 times it. So
again, kind of standard.
Yeah. Just to kind of, but it's got everything going.
But even on my second, this is actually my third playthrough, because my second playthrough I didn't do. No, my second playthrough, my save corrupted. I couldn't load it. I couldn't.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Sucks.
Early access.
Early access. So I wasn't too mad because I was like, I'll just start again. Whatever. And actually, I don't know if I haven't loaded a game since that new one, so I don't know if it's that one's gonna load. But once I've played on my third go, I'm like, you know what? If I place this here and this here and this here, this makes the whole building situation more efficient, because they're not traveling, because that ox isn't doing all these fucking steps. So but also you can move your log encampment. So like, actually, I want to clear this area of trees because I want to build it. So I'm going to get these guys to just fuck this bit up.
But the trouble is as well, some of the hunting stuff might be quite away from your camp, and the stone bit.
And also you can overhunt.
Side.
So if you don't replenish the wildlife,
interesting.
If you kill all the animals, they don't come back. But if you wait, if you kill some of the animals, like half of them,
and then let them breed again.
And then there's things like you can flood the market, so you can start trading in something. So you can trade roof tiles, for example. So you can manufacture roof tiles and sell them to with another region. But if you sell too many roof tiles, they're like, we're good for roof tiles, and the value of them goes down. So then you have to become efficient in making something else. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So you have to have multiple industries going.
There's a lot of depth. I mean, that's what we're saying.
It's just
There's
that
a
stuff.
lot of
It's
depth
just
to
like,
this game.
fuck, like everything. Every time you've got it figured out, it goes da 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 da, and you like, can't do that. And you can turn the conflict down. So I'm thinking about maybe one playthrough I might just have no one attack me, and I'll just focus on.
That's how I have to play Factorio.
How to build stuff. How can I make stuff? And there's no threat coming my way. And then eventually I'll turn it on again, and then maybe crank it up, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure, I haven't looked, but I'm sure there's playthroughs of people just fucking, just dominating this in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? They just got like a full-fledged army or something. So super loving it. I played loads of it this week. Gonna play more. Manor Lords. I mean, you'll know if you'll be into it. But yeah, I love it. Manor Lords.
So anything
it's very
to add
intricate. It definitely rewards, paying attention, and it's got a lot of detail in it, and the graphics are great. I think you have to play these games a bunch to get to the point where, like, Fabledom is one that I've played recently, where it's kind of similar in this, the games tend to start with the same, like, build up your city. The difference with that one is once you reach a sizable city, you're doing diplomacy and friendship with the other areas, and then you can eventually get married and you have a kid, and then it becomes your kid's, whatever, kingdom or whatever. So this is taking the war path instead of the romance path. But yeah, I played it a little bit. I wasn't really in the mood for this kind of game this weekend, but I can definitely see myself playing more of it later because it is a very good version of what it does. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up
from you.
Thumbs up from me.
And thumbs up from me, even though it's something that I've never played, but I can appreciate what a pretty good game it is.
Nice.
There you go.
Triple thumbs up.
There you go.
Triple thumbs up. Right, I'm going to talk about PGA Tour 2K21 because a little bit like Manalord Sfacini, I am in this game.
Yeah.
I'm in this game because I'm doing the PGA Tour and I like it. I'm liking the progression curve, although I must admit, first round that you play on the PGA Tour when you first start out in the game was just piss. I mean, it was a piece of piss. It was a very forgiving course. There was barely any wind.
They want you to know how awesome you are and make you feel
That's
very
right.
happy
And
about
I finished around about 9 under or 10 under par, right? And I'm like, I think I'm going to put the difficulty up because this is way too easy. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, this is easier than I expected it to be. Second round, so only the second round, suddenly there's winds of like 11 miles an hour blowing in all sorts of directions. Yeah. Greens, way more sloped. You know what I mean? And then, like, most of the greens on the first round were fairly flat. Lots more dog legs and stuff on the actual courses, way more bunkers, and I scraped to win. I must admit, like towards the end of the second round, I'm like, ooh, not sure I'm going to make it. And the AI seemed to improve because on the first round, I think the top score, I got like -10 or something. And the top scorer after me were about 4 under, 3 under. The guy this time as well, they'd already all finished the rounds. On this one, it was kind of like all at the same time. So I was on hole 10, one of them would be on hole 11, one on hole 9, one on 10 as well. So they kind of made it more, it felt way more competitive once you get to the second round. But I really, really enjoyed it. I felt like towards the end that I managed to do I chipped it in on the last hole to win the round of golf by, chips it in. And I was like, woo! And that was such a good chip as well. And what's really like it proper rewards you because the commentators are like, that was an amazing chip in. He's definitely, his short game is just incredible. I think we need to see that again. Let's see a replay. And it's like, and all the crowd's cheering and you're pumping your fist at them. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm liking this game. I like it. Yeah. I like the mechanics. I like it so much better than the one we played the other week. I can't even remember who made that. Who made that one? EA? Or whoever
just under the EA company.
Yeah. Whoever made that, it was like having played this and played that was like a bad clone of this. Does that kind of make sense? This just everything about it feels so much more intuitive. It feels way more tactile. Like the touches around the green, doing like your chip shots, flop shots, all that kind of stuff. It just feels so much better. I don't know what it is, but this is like nailed it, and they're kind of trying. Yeah. And that's the best way I could describe this.
Yeah.
And I must admit, unless you can get this on sale, because it's always bloody full. It's full price everywhere. I mean, I was just lucky that I looked on Green Man Gaming when they had a sale on. But it's still like £50 and whatever, $60, I guess. And I'm like, it's a great game, but I can't recommend people pay that amount of money for a golf game at this point, especially one that's like 2 or 3 years old. This should be cheap now. The new one's out. It should be cheap. Yeah. But for some reason, it's not. I don't know. And people like this better than the newest one, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Maybe still people are buying this more than the other one.
Market holds what market holds.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's doing well. But yeah, it's just a really good game. Really, really. Can't recommend it enough. Yeah, and today I was playing it today. Perfect, sunny outside, playing around the golf. couldn't be better, could it? It's what you want. Except I'm not actually playing a real round of
Do you,
golf.
have you ever played real golf?
I have played real golf back in the day. I used to play quite a lot, to be honest. I used to play at least once a week during the summer. You know, I used to go and have a round every week. But not played for a long, long time. Years, in fact. Long time. Probably decades. Decades since I last played golf.
Last played,
I was never great. The best round I ever had was about 96 or something like that.
It's all right.
It was all right.
96.
Yeah.
Broke 100.
Probably the best round. Yeah, and I had like 2 or 3 pars. You know what I mean on the way around, but then some loads of double and triple bogeys as well. So.
Oh yeah, plenty of that.
I was never brilliant. I could hit the ball, but quite often I'd bloody fluff it. You know what I mean? But sometimes, it's like snooker. It's like, no, not a fluffer. It's like snooker, Chinny. Sometimes you're just on it. You're just feeling it, and then other times you're just not.
On it.
There's a lot of similarities between golf and snooker. It's a solo, solo sport. You're
playing golf more so than snooker, even because you're kind of playing against yourself.
Well, snooker, you're definitely playing against you because there's no one really.
It's not like someone's hitting a ball back at you.
No, it's like the saying is it doesn't really matter who you play the balls, you know. So
yeah. Similar in that way.
Yeah, it's similar in that way. But I think snooker's sort of harder than golf because golf you're always going to get a chance. Do you know what I mean? You're always going to get a shot, whereas in snooker you might not get a shot. So
yeah, because you're always hitting it.
Yeah.
It's just how well you're hitting
That's
it. Whereas
so you've got the same chance. Yeah, in snooker.
If you're playing badly, you don't get a chance to hit it again.
No, you just have to sit there and watch it. It's like golf, but if the person always gets par, you won't be able to play again, basically. So it's anyway, cool.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, like I said, there's little challenges on quite a few of the holes during around to give you XP because obviously every game has to have XP these days. But some of them are quite cool, and it'll be like get an eagle on the next hole to get 20 XP, or you know what I mean, get to the green in regulation strokes, get par or under without hitting any hazards, and invariably you'll hit a bunker in that hole for some reason. Don't know. It's like it knows you're gonna do it. But yeah, can't recommend it enough. It's great if you can pick it up cheap in a Steam sale or whatever. Then I would totally recommend PGA Tour 2K21. So there you go.
Yeah, pick it up. Why not?
Pick it up. That's it. Duke, I guess. Over to you.
That's it. Right. Yeah, back to me. I've been playing a little more Urbo. It's the game that is ostensibly a building game, but it's not a building game. It's a puzzle game because it's all about combining the little buildings into bigger buildings and then combining those into other buildings. And I keep unlocking, there's different sets of buildings and there's different surroundings. And I realized you can change it from morning, afternoon, evening, and nighttime. So the graphics are really good, and you can switch, what you're looking at, how you play it. I mean, the gameplay doesn't really change, although there are different game modes, and I don't really know what the different game modes are. I think there's one that's called Puzzle, so presumably it's you got to figure out how to get, you only have a few moves to clear the board, and you got to clear a bunch of stuff off by combining things the right way or whatever. But yeah, it's strangely compelling, and it's a really good game for if I only have a few minutes, if we're going out to eat and the Duchess isn't ready or whatever, I'll be I'll start it up a little bit, play some of this. And yeah, it's just really, it's not exactly soothing, but it is because it's, there's no clock. You don't have to worry about dying. The only thing that can happen is you end up filling the whole grid and then you start over. But I keep unlocking, different surroundings. I unlock the waterfall level and stuff. So it's just, it's a really good game. And I paid $4 for it, and it was worth every penny because it's very polished. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this. I like the aesthetics. I do. I think it looks rather cool. And yeah, I like the simplicity of just from looking at it. I don't think I'd ever play it, but I like the idea of this just building the biggest buildings you can build by just combining other buildings, because that's kind of
and there's a lot of eventually you get used to planning ahead, so okay, if you combine 3, then it turns into the next level building, right? But if you can combine 4, then it turns into the next level building, and you have these cards that you can save up for. So every time you get you combine 4 buildings instead of 3, you get like 2 or 3 points toward a card. And you really want the cards because that makes your life a lot easier. You can combine buildings that are on the other side of the board or whatever. So, you know, instead of placing 3 in a row, you place 2 in a row, you leave a gap, and then you put 2 going the other way. So that when you drop the one in the gap, it'll bring 5 of them together, and you get even more points toward your card. And then it's about figuring out how you're going to get those 4 to combine in the spot you need to have it to combine 3 other buildings. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get this tier 2 building to appear in this spot between these other 2 tier buildings. And then it'll combine the 4 tier 1 buildings, and then it'll automatically combine the tier 2 buildings. And then it's, you know, it's that thinking ahead process. And the more you play it, the more you see these patterns show up again and again. And I had a couple of times when I thought I was done because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to, you know, combine anything. The grid's filling up. I'm just going to have to start over. But then I just, at the last second, 3 combined that I didn't realize were around. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not done. And it's just, yeah, it's cool. It's a really good game. It's got a lot of replayability. And I just, you know, if anybody likes these kinds of puzzle type games, definitely check out the demo on Steam. It's free. Urbo Dream 1. Give them a shot.
Oh, yeah, it's not my kind of thing, but I can appreciate the skill that's gone into it. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, the only other thing I played a little bit more of Dredge. So I've been playing a little bit more Dredge, tootling around. I've been fishing. I'm still trying to upgrade the cargo size of my hold. So I've still got a little bit of work to do on that. But I'm slowly making my way through it, you know, and I'm still enjoying this game. Again, it's kind of a cool little, just play it for 10, 15 minutes here and there. And you know what I mean? Just, you know, upgrade something or sell some fish. Yeah, so I'm still enjoying that. I'm just tootling my way through it, I guess is the best way to describe Dredge. But I haven't got a lot more than that to say on it, really. It's a great little game. But again, I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think Dredge is for everyone. I do think, Chinny, you may like Dredge.
Why?
I don't know, because, you know, you like sort of crafting stuff, don't you? And leveling stuff up and building things and whatnot. I don't know. I just thought it might be something that may or may not interest you in that case.
I don't know. I mean, I like the art style. The art style looks good, but I don't know.
There's always a hook, because there's always someone else to, like, make bigger or improve or buy. So there's always like better equipment to buy, you know, better reels, better nets. Yeah, and there's like, I can do crab pots now as well. I've got those, so you can drop those in the water and collect crabs. They last for 2 days, but then you've got to pay for them to be repaired once you've caught crabs in them. But then you can get bigger crab pots, so you can trade them in and get bigger ones. You can get like a cargo net, like a dredging net on the back, so you can like catch fish while you're just tootling around. You don't have to actively be catching fish all the time. But I haven't found it that useful though, because you don't seem to catch that many. Do you know what I mean? You're sort of driving around. I was expecting quite often for somebody to go bing, and there's one in there, but I drove around for ages.
What sound does it make?
Caught them. Bing. So it lets you know you've caught one. I only caught about 3. I caught about 3 fish. But there's also messages in bottles. So that's kind of cool. And there's this like story going on with this man and woman who were out there, and each message is like a chapter of what happened to them. So that's kind of intriguing and interesting. And then you can get books that like give you extra skills. So you have
I'll
to
be
read
straight
the
with
book.
you, Stu. Nothing you said has appealed to me.
Has it not appealed to you? So
No.
you read books whilst you're out fishing. When you finish a book, you might.
But hang on a second. Can you wander around any pools?
No, you can't. And it's certainly not ultra realistic.
Have you like fallen into some sort of coma and then woken up and forgot what I like and don't like?
Well, I don't know. I just thought this may or may not appeal to you. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely one of those. Yeah, you're correct. It may
And
or
I'm
may
guessing from what you're saying, it may not appeal to you.
No,
Which is
sorry.
fair enough.
I think it's a look. It's definitely got a vibe, hasn't it? It's got a vibe, I think. But
Oh yeah.
no, it's not for me. What's with the Eye of Zoron on the top there?
Oh, so basically, if you go out at night, I don't know what
You're not
that
seeing
means.
it, by the way, Chinny, on the stream.
that
So?
means that
am.
means
Fuck you, viewers.
Oh, it's the wrong name.
that means you're out at night time, and I don't know. There's something watching you. I don't know. Shit goes down. Put it that way. If you're out at night,
Yeah.
bad shit happens, and it has like a meter for like you getting scared and stuff, you know, and shit going down. So the longer you're out at night, the more tense you
Like
become.
an
and,
insanity meter.
yeah, like an insanity meter, and just shit happens.
Like in is it Eternal?
Amnesia, like amnesia.
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, in Eternal Darkness, it's got like an insanity meter.
Ah.
So if you go out at night, just all weird stuff. Like I was out at night once, not on purpose, by accident, because I was just further away than I thought, and didn't get back in time to dock up at night.
Right.
And 1 minute I was in one part of the sea, and the next minute I was just somewhere else. It just automatically moved me somewhere else without me realizing, and it proper is disorientating.
So it's sort of like if you spend too long out at night in Blackpool, isn't it? Really, it's the same
Correct.
sort of
Yeah.
thing.
If you spend have a night out in Blackpool,
Yeah.
you just never
You sort
can
of lose the
remember
plot.
what happened.
And then all of a
What
sudden you could be by Central Pier, and then you end up by Pleasure Beach.
Yeah,
You know, you don't know
Next
where
thing
you
you're
are.
at the Pleasure Beach. Don't know how the hell you got there.
You're on the middle of the Big Dipper, and like, there's not even a track. Look, where am I? Yeah, like, I'm just halfway
Yeah, the
up.
difference in this game is you're usually about to hit a rock when it transports you elsewhere, or
Yeah.
there's some weird squid thing comes up from the depths and eats your boat.
Yeah. You're on Blackpool Beach, and then you're on that crazy mouse ride. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you don't, you know,
Yeah, that one with the really sharp angles
that's
at the
the one.
corners.
That's the one. Yeah.
So
I
Drake,
haven't been to Blackpool for bloody years.
I was there last week. We went for a
Yeah.
walk there.
It's only like 2 minutes from your house. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not very far.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it somehow.
No.
What was weird, can I just say, actually, funnily enough, we came back along the motorway
Oh yeah.
from Blackpool, and they have all these adverts on like little billboards all the way along the road. You
Yeah.
know, like Pleasure Beach.
Have you never
Hot Ice
seen? Have you
Show.
never seen an advert before?
No, listen.
Right.
So there was like Pleasure Beach, Hot Ice Show, Tower Circus,
Yeah.
Arcade Club.
Ah.
Because there's obviously an arcade club in Blackpool, and that was one of the adverts on the things. I'm like, hey, that's Arcade Club today. It's like,
I would. And Kay was like, "Please shut up. I don't want to talk to you."
Who cares?
Yeah, I would do a meet up in Blackpool. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, apparently it's pretty good, the arcade club in Blackpool. Just saying.
Yeah.
But it's underneath Blackpool football ground or near there somewhere.
Where's Blackpool
from what I-
football ground?
Not really sure, to be honest.
If
Never
you
been.
don't know and you live by there,
I know, I've never been. Don't do football, do I? So I've never
No.
been. So there you go.
But anyway, we're going to London anyway,
There
aren't
you
we?
go.
We're going to
We are
London.
going to London. Yes, I'm going to check with Tracy tomorrow. I'll put it in the request book, but I'll double check it. But
So-
it's not as urgent because I don't have to potentially book a hotel now, so it's only a train ticket.
Well, see, this is the thing, right?
Oh God, here we go.
No, it's fine.
Here we
It's just-
go.
So I've got an awards night the night before, which you can come to, but I need to buy a
Yeah.
ticket. Yeah, I need to buy a
Yeah,
ticket
yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And the tickets are a pain in the arse. They don't make it easy to get. They're only
Nothing
a fiver.
is.
It's only a fiver, right?
Right.
But I'm like, the guy who gives those tickets, like, he just makes it hard for everything. So I'd have to get you one of them.
Right.
Then I'd have to. I'm taking a chap called Neil that you don't know. I'm taking my
That's
dad.
alright.
I'm taking my dad.
Right. Okay.
Neil won the best averages, by the way, so that's why he's going.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Nice chap, lovely guy. So we're going there, and then. So that's the plan. You want to come to this? You still want to
Yeah,
come?
no, I'm fine. I am fine with
You want to
that.
meet 1986 world champion Joe Johnson?
I do, Joe. Hey, Joe Johnson. I know that man. Know him
You know,
well.
he's from
I
Bradford.
Like this.
He's from
I
Bradford.
Like this.
He's from
I like
Bradford.
this. But no, your dad well. That's fine. Get on with your dad. We can have a grin.
Cool. Okay, so I need
So-
to get you a ticket, basically.
Get me a ticket. I should be fine as far as I know. I don't think there'll be an issue.
And I haven't
uh,
been to one of these awards nights, Stu, for it must be 12, 13 years.
I'd
I
be
stopped
fine.
going because I thought they were crap.
Can I just say, do I have to get dressed up? Is it like one of these, like, I have to put a shirt and tie on and shit?
That there was
You
a
should wear a shirt,
there was a discussion
but
about
not
that.
like a shirt.
There was a discussion about that. But I don't think. By the way, Neil's nickname. No one calls him Neil. His nickname is Baywatch.
Okay.
Because I think he was a lifeguard for like 2 weeks when he was 18, and everybody calls him
alright,
Baywatch.
okay.
Right? So that's just the way it is. So Baywatch, he says, "Oh, I'm not wearing trousers. I don't even own any trousers." It's like, you got to wear your fancy shorts and your lifeguard thing. No. So he's going to go in jeans and a shirt. I think.
I tell you what, these young'uns these days, Mike. When I was young, you had to own a pair of trousers because otherwise you couldn't get in a nightclub.
No.
You couldn't get in any nightclubs unless you had trousers on. You know what I mean? You've got to have your trousers.
So
otherwise you couldn't get in.
by the way, Baywatch is probably about the same age as you, maybe a little bit younger. Anyway, so it's yes. Anyway, so I don't know. I think you'll have to dress smart if you come in.
That's okay. I've got a shirt.
Jeans
I
and
can do a
shirt, I think, would be.
I can do a shirt.
Okay.
I've got some black jeans.
That's fine.
I've got black jeans,
go
so I
with
can
that.
do that.
I mean, the worst that can happen is that I have to tie you to a lamppost outside, and you have to wait like a dog.
But
You know
like
what I
it's
mean?
a stag night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But the last time I went to one of these, Stu, like I remember going and going, "Fucking hell, this is cack," right? And I'm only going because the club where I play snooker said it'd be good if you and Baywatch went, because Baywatch won the averages. You've got the top break, and to represent the club and to go and collect the trophy, because it looks bad because I didn't go last year because I won the highest break.
Yeah,
and
you got the highest break last year, didn't you?
And I didn't go because I was like, I don't know, they're just sort of stupid awards. And I think no one bollocked me, but it was like, we wish you'd have gone and represented the club. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it this time, and I'll go with Barry. So that's why I'm going. And my dad wants to go because he hasn't been, and he doesn't really hang out with the snooker crew that much. So yes, so that's that. And then so you're stopping on the Friday.
Yep.
We go down London on the Saturday. And then we go
meet the Moor, meet the Fraser,
meet the Moor, and meet Real Kahuna and Dave.
Real Kahuna, Dave.
And whoever else is coming. I don't know who else is coming.
Not a clue.
And they're gonna want to drink and eat,
Yep.
and then we're gonna go.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yes. Yeah, and then we'll get the train home.
Yeah. That sounds good.
All right, so now that we got that sorted out, we can talk about, do we have any other video games? Is there news? Are we doing email?
We got emails. I don't think there's been
let's
much
talk
in the way
about
of
some
news.
emails
There has
then.
been a lot of news.
Well, you can do that.
Whoa, that ruled.
There has been a lot of news.
Well, we've only got one email. I'll do that,
Go
and
on.
then you can do some news.
Go
So
for it.
the one and only email this evening is from Jason.
Oh, Jason, go
And
on.
he says, put your headphones on.
Okay.
Put your headphones on.
Okay.
He says, go to your PS5, your Switch, or Steam Deck. Then you need to look for the ad or just type Animal Well into the store's search bar. Click it, hit purchase. The entire game will be downloaded quicker than Stu's bird brain decides to spoil the listeners' current what they've actually been playing games ending. Stop spoiling shit, Stu. Can I just say, I haven't spoiled anything for a long time. And unless you two can
True, it's been
correct
a
me,
minute.
when was
I
the
can't
last
think of a
time I
time
spoiled
recently
anything?
we've
And I very rarely ever spoil the actual end of a game. I mean, the only end of a game we've spoiled lately is the Uncharted games, and for fuck's sake, they're like over 10 years old, so get over it if that's the case. So he says, I get it. You blew me off when I declared Hyperlight Drifters to be a modern masterpiece. You ignored my love of Pentiment. When I told you Below was a gem, you asked what Below was. When I admitted that John Blow is indeed an incredible game dev, and I praised Phil Fish for his work on Fez, you told me I was wank, and that I enjoy shit games created by twats. I get it. So go ahead and ignore the fuck out of me now and go back to playing Peppa Pig on Game Pass. As I tell you that Animal Well is in my top 10 games of all time. All time.
Wow. It's intense.
The guy that made it did everything, even the sound, which is integral. It's clear he's a fan of David Lynch. Rabbit holes all in his art. He might as well be a fan of me, because that is who this game was made for.
Apparently.
Move your stop animation ass over Henrietta Halibut. There's a new treasure in town, and this one isn't too slow or boring for a normal audience. This one is actual fun puzzle game that just might make you cream your pants, Duke.
Yeah, but is it? Are there any pools in it?
There's no pools. So pick
Am
up.
I having deja vu, or did you hear something very similar last week?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh no, he keeps on going on about this game. So pick up the firecracker and throw it at the ghost that won't let you move forward. You've got this. 10 out of 10. Get the fuck out, Mario, or I'll drop a firecracker down your pipe. Animal Well is running this show. Jason out.
Thank you, Jason.
So there you go. I'm liking
there's-
I'm liking aggressive Jason, can I just say?
Yeah, he's fun.
He is fun. I mean, he is passionate, I think is the word I'm looking for. He is
Yeah.
now passionate about video games.
Well, he's always
So-
been passionate. But...
So, Animal Well, people, are you interested? Have you seen this game? Or do you even know what it is?
I have seen
Oh.
it. Isn't it? Oh, is there something about it?
It's a platformer, basically. It's all neon-looking,
yeah.
sort of pixely graphics. It does look cool. It's tiny. I think it's about less than a gig. It is a tiny, tiny game, memory-wise. But it's like Metroidvania. You know, you gradually get more and more stuff opening up.
Yeah, we've looked at this. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
But everyone's going mad about it. It's not hugely expensive.
Certainly, Jason is.
No, it's not just Jason. People are losing their shit
That's
over
all
this
I've
game.
heard.
Well, you may have only heard Jason, but people are loving this game.
I only heard Jason.
It's got Destructoid gave it 10 out of 10. Eurogamer gave it 10 out of 10. IGN gave
they
it
give a lot
9
of
out of
things 10 out of 10.
10. Noisy Pixel gave it
Trust
10 out
IGN
of
ever
10.
since that game that came out.
Yeah, this game has got a lot of 10 out of 10s is the sort of upshot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I saw something about this in the fucking Washington Post. It was like, oh, there's 3 games. It's a game on game on game. It starts off as just a Metrovania, but then it's this other thing on top of it and whatnot. And it just sounded exhausting. I'll be honest. It's not fair for me to have that attitude, but that's the way I feel sometimes. I look at games and I'm just, oh God, that game looks messy. That game looks too hard. There was a game that was on Steam on the daily sale, and it looked really cool. Like, it looks like a proper fucking Pixar game. And I'm like, oh, sweet. And then I saw one of the tags is Souls-like, and I'm like, nope. Forget it.
Yeah,
Not happening.
I mean, some things are just an immediate turn off. You know, like, and we all have different
And I shouldn't
ones.
have had that attitude because, like, there's difficulty levels. I could put it on easy. Like, why am I?
I
being
don't
so
think. By the way,
scared?
I don't think this game is incredibly difficult. I don't think it's that type
Not
of game.
this game. I'm talking about a different game.
No. I'm just saying though. In general, I don't think this is one of those games.
Well, that wasn't my complaint. My complaint about this is that it's exhausting because there's 3 different layers to it, and I'm just like, ugh. Okay.
The only thing I'm going to say to you at this
I don't wanna
point,
do all that
Jake,
work.
is Super Meat Boy. I mean, that's a game that I would never think you like, but you loved it. Just
I
saying.
know, and it goes to show that you can't ever tell, really. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll like Elden Ring someday.
I do like the look of this, but then I feel like if I played it, Chinny would be like, "Oh, you only played it because everyone says it's brilliant and it's like
And I'd be,
popular."
and I'd be accurate. Yeah.
That's why I'm not going to play it. So I'm
So
sorry,
now you-
Jason. For that reason, I'm not going to play the game.
See, and this is why I never believe people when they go, I don't care what anybody thinks of me, because everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody
I'm
does.
not going to play it. I'm not going to play it now.
Just
Just to prove a point.
I don't
Just to
know.
prove a point, I ain't going to play it.
play it if you want. I don't care.
I'm not going to play it.
I don't want you to.
Well, I'm not going to.
Well, I think you should.
Well, you can fuck
I
off
want you to
because I
not
ain't going to
play
play it.
Well, I want you to.
All right.
Well, I'm
then
not gonna
thank you for
fucking
doing
play it,
what I
all right?
said.
Well, I'm going to play it.
But I'm not going to play it.
Well, I'm playing it.
Well, you can play it if you like.
I'm playing it now.
Well, whatever.
Cool.
All right, this is great, but we do
Great
need
chat.
to move on. Here, wait, we got this.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
There you go.
Could have played that when you were
So,
ready.
news.
News. Come on then, Chinny.
So now
give us
there's
the
news. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Chinny,
so
give us the news, baby.
we talked about the
putting news first.
News first.
Helldivers 2 got review bombed because of its policy to sign people up to the PlayStation Network. And of course,
yeah, we talked about this.
After we talked about it last week, immediately Sony went, nah, you don't have to do that. We were just kidding. It was a laugh.
Well,
we were having a laugh. So the developers of Helldivers 2, who sort of tweeted, by the way, it's not us, it's them, don't worry about it kind of thing, are releasing a new cape. It's called the Review Bomb Cape, and it basically simulates the chart of the review bombs. It's the line, the graph, where the bombs are going negative, and they're going to release that as a cape to celebrate the roughest time in Helldivers 2 history, which is a bit of fun. That's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's put a bit of a.
It is. Can we just say, right? This is an interesting development on the back of this, is that Sony are releasing Ghost of Tsushima on PC very soon on Steam. And they've already confirmed the countries that it won't be playable.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get ahead of the game because there's no way getting around it. They're going to do it. You know, like it's just.
And this will be PS Inside in day one. There ain't going to be any fucking around.
And I think if they'd have done that with Helldivers 2 day one, there wouldn't have been a story. It would have been.
They wouldn't, Chinny, but they wouldn't have had as much cash for that game, would they? That's what all this is about.
There's always going to be people. I mean, it's silent to there's always going to be people that go, I don't want to sign up to a new thing. Fuck that, right? But like, I think once people probably would have heard of how good Helldivers 2 was, they would have sort of let that go. Anyway, we're talking about hypotheticals. We don't answer hypotheticals. Talking of review bombing. Positive review bombing. Have you heard about Microsoft and how they've been basically closing fucking everything? Right, so they've been
we have.
They closed
Microsoft.
The developers of Hi-Fi Rush and Dishonored.
Yeah, they did.
And Prey. They made Prey. And I think the people who made original Dishonored are still there, but like the Dishonored DLC and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so people have been positive review bombing Hi-Fi Rush. Now that
but that's a great game anyway. I mean, that's an easy do.
Yeah, it's sort of like just
it's a way to send a message, though.
It's sending a message, isn't it? So Tango Gameworks, the people that made Hi-Fi Rush, it's an interesting one because they think they made Redfall. Or that might be a different developer. I'm getting
that's Arcane Storm thing, but that's part of.
But they got the sack as well, and it's just
I think the ones who made Hi-Fi Rush was the same as the Evil Within.
Evil Within, that's right.
It was Evil Within developers.
Correct. I'm getting it wrong.
You're getting your mixing up here. You're mixing it up a bit, Chinny.
Stop getting it wrong. So anyway, the gist is Microsoft are closing developers left, right, and centre, which would be worrying times if you were one of the said developers that got bought into that ecosystem and gone, come with us, join the Microsoft family, you'll be safe with us, we'll let you carry on and do whatever you want. So if you're the likes of Double Fine and so on that have been bought up by Microsoft, you'll be shitting yourself a little bit because they don't care about history and like notoriety. And the people that made Evil Within, I forgot his name, but he fucking made Resident Evil.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then he made Evil Within 1 and 2, and then he made Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo thing, which was a
Hi-Fi Rush.
And Hi-Fi Rush. So, and Hi-Fi Rush was given loads of Game of the Year awards and mentions and things. So they ended on a good game and didn't survive. So it's worrying times, and I think there are pitchforks for Mr. Spencer, Mr. Philip No-Neck Spencer. His legacy may be in threat, might be coming to an end.
Well, you're saying that, but you know what I think his response to all of this is? I think it'd just be a shoulder shrug. I really don't think he gives a shit. I think he isn't losing any sleep, put it that way.
Yeah, well, I think... But
it's hard to know. I mean,
the problem is...
This sort of thing has the power to cause shakeups. Or
the problem is
that they'll never admit it.
The investments the investments that Phil has been making in the last 5 to 7 years, buying this, buying that, buying this, buying that, they haven't been paying off. Even before COVID, it was like, well, they're buying so many companies. You wait till about 3-4 years when all these games will actually be made, and they're not making them. They're not coming out, and they're not beating Sony in their exclusivity.
That's fine, but he's always going to get his golden handshake. And he's always going to be all right. I mean, he'll just move on and be the CEO of some fucking telecommunications company or something.
Just like bank execs after 2008.
It'll just be fine.
The nature of late-stage capitalism.
He is never going to be out of a job, and he is
My
never
concern isn't
poor.
about Phil Spencer's bank account.
He don't give a shit. He really doesn't give a shit. Whether these things pay off or not, he doesn't care because he's always going to be all right. I'm all right, Jack. Who gives a fuck what happens to everyone else? That is Phil Spencer.
Yeah, but that's not my point. I don't really care what happens to Phil Spencer if he got the sack, right? I don't want the guy to die or anything, but I hope he's fine. But my point is Microsoft as an Xbox has come to this sort of situation where they've been buying left, right and centre and not getting a payoff. Halo Infinite didn't come out how they want. There's no Gears 6 in sight. There's no Fable. Where's Fable? So the legacy of Xbox is sort of just in this very weird state, and everybody that's been bought up by Microsoft, developer-wise, every developer that's been bought up by Microsoft must be worried now. They must be like, well, maybe I'm next.
In a week or so, yeah, obviously the developers are worried. Phil Spencer don't give a shit, but obviously the people who work
I'm aware that Phil will be fine. It's not about that.
He really doesn't give a shit.
It's not about that. That's not the point I'm making.
There's a big time coming up in the next week or so, which is Ninja Theory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's to say they close them?
And that's what I mean, because it all depends. Hellblade.
So it's Stu.
Hellblade 2.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about Phil's bank account. I'm sure he's got a lovely double garage with very nice cars in it, and I'm sure he'll be fine afterwards. What I'm saying is, the console that we play, the Game Pass that we play, the developers that we love that have been bought up by Microsoft are now in jeopardy because some of the decisions that Mr. Spencer has been making.
Oh, definitely. But it all, as we keep on saying, and I know we bang on about this, but it all depends on how these games perform. It depends on the public.
But they're not even coming out.
Not always, because sometimes when they come out and they're great, they still fucking kill the studio.
But
that's the big flaw.
They're not even coming out.
Well, Senua's Saga is out in a week.
Hi-Fi Rush came out and it was great, and they're like, "What did we do wrong?" Like, if workers in a capitalist system are supposed to have any kind of job security, it ought to be based on do this set of things and you'll be okay. Make profits for the company, produce great products, and you'll be fine. Well, people in fucking General Motors plants did that all across the middle United States for many decades, and then GM was like, hey, we can make more money if we move the factories to Bangladesh, so fuck all y'all. And it's like Microsoft has that same model right now, and it's fucking stupid. And it's heartbreaking for the people who work there.
What concerns me, especially about Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, is it's out on the 21st of May, which is 7 or 8 days time. That's coming out, and I haven't seen a lot of promotion for this. And I think that always concerns me slightly because it's like they've got an exclusive. In my opinion, I mean, don't get me wrong, Ninja Theory are really mainly being a kind of indie developer on the cusp of sort of AAA games. You know, they've never been full-on AAA, but I feel like this game is the first what you'd consider AAA release. You know, like this is a big game, probably cost a lot of money to make, and it's. I don't feel like they're promoting it enough. I feel like it needs more promotion.
Also, Senua's Sacrifice didn't start out that way because they pitched it as a short game, like a AAA short game that they can make quickly. And he says, "Oh, we can do loads of these. If we just make AAA games short, we can knock out quicker games." And they haven't done. So it's sort of like
because Microsoft bought them and went, come on, we'll give you some cash and then you can make this huge game. I don't think it's going to be that long. I don't think it's going to be massively longer. You know, I'm reckoning this will be 10, 15, 20 hours. I'm hoping.
That's fucking massive.
Well, it is, but in the scheme of things, it isn't really. I mean,
but that's like
that's because we've reached a point where that's considered a short game.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so maybe 10. Well, let's say 10 to 15 hours.
Part of the problem.
But how long was the first one?
Not probably that dissimilar.
Probably
Probably 8-10 hours. It's a fairly
The
hefty
expectation
game.
just keeps going up. It's the same with fucking Red Dead and Red Dead 2. Red Dead was a very large game, and then they were like, we need it to be like twice or 3 times bigger.
Yeah, but
and I mean, I'm not mad that there's a great big map. I don't I mean, what is a different conversation?
I'm just hoping
I don't
that
like the fact that your average game needs to be 15 hours.
No,
That's just
I'm just hoping that this is a tight narrative. I don't mind if it's only 8 to 10 hours long. That's fine with me. You know, if it's a great story and it's engaging and it doesn't drag and it's fun to play.
I just can't imagine it's going to be tight at 15 hours, 10 hours.
Well, we don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be. They've not said. I mean, that's me just guessing.
But anyway, back to the point. I think Microsoft are in trouble at the moment. They're in a weird place. The developers that they bought to give them security are probably not feeling very secure right now.
No, and I think part of the issue is like with Sony, pretty much, you know, apart from a couple of duds, most of their exclusive games are applauded, highly rated. People absolutely love them. They're massive events when they come out. I think Microsoft has yet to have that happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With all these
Sony have got their own problems, right? Don't worry. They've got their own issues, right? But they do knock out better exclusives.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And obviously, you know, goes without saying Nintendo know how to knock out an exclusive, you know what I mean? And I think Xbox has still got to achieve that. I don't think from the studios they bought, they've actually made that like massive, huge game of the year. This is the best thing since sliced bread type of game yet.
Because, you know, when you talk about Sony exclusives, though, Spider-Man 2, one of my favourite games of last year, people didn't award it Game of the Year. They you know, it didn't sell as well as they wanted it to. Didn't sell as well as they wanted it to. It's so even like the top tier stuff isn't cutting it. Our games,
yeah,
fucked.
but then we talked about this at the time, and I know you dissed it, but it was a fucking expensive game. It was a lot of bloody money for what you were getting. And it's hard. It's a hard sell in this day and age when people are
Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man 2 was an expensive
Spider-Man
game.
A hard sell?
Because it's a hard sell when it's fucking 70 odd quid.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it's a hard sell.
$10 more than it has been.
Everybody knows Spider-Man.
Yeah, but when you've got food to buy, right, and other stuff that's more important.
We're not rationing,
prices,
Stu.
Yeah, but you might be fine. But there's a lot of people who play games who probably aren't fine, who are struggling, and haven't got that extra.
Kids still have
cash.
bloody Christmas presents.
Well, they didn't sell as many as they thought, and that says something.
Spider-Man.
So just saying. Just saying. But it's when is it a stretch too far? When the people go, I'm not paying. No, that's it. That's it for me. I mean, I know I'm a stingy bastard. You know,
well, that's true.
I'll just get it at some grey market.
Unless
website.
it's under 20 quid, I'm like, seems a bit much that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's when is something too expensive. You know what I mean?
We should be called tight gamers, shouldn't we?
Tight gamers.
You know?
Well, there used to be. What did that website used to be called? There used to be a website where they used to do like game bargains.
Cheap Ass Gamer, wasn't it?
No, what was it?
Cheap Ass Gamer.
Oh, it could have been Cheap Ass Gamer. I feel like there was another one as well, but yeah, I remember Cheap Ass Gamer.
Yeah. I think it's still
so
there.
there you go. Yeah. So there you go. Right. On that note, we have got a speak pipe, so let's do that.
Oh yeah, check it out, people. Here comes the speak pipe.
Speak pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
Did you yawn then, Stu?
I did. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I was up after midnight on Friday looking at the freaking Northern Lights. I'm tired.
I was up till fucking 3 o'clock yesterday working.
Well, no, probably up at 3 o'clock playing Manor.
I wasn't. I wish I was. Go on, Duke.
All right, Saint Diesel.
Hey, Veteran Gamers, it's Saint Diesel back again. This week I wanted to talk about one of the channels I subscribe to on YouTube, and that's a channel called Bald Foodie Guy. It's basically a guy from the northwest of England, but we'll not hold that against. He runs a channel which he started 3 or 4 years ago when he got made redundant during the pandemic. And it's basically him talking about food he buys from his local stores, all very sort of mainstream stuff I bought myself. And he tells you whether he thinks it's any good, whether he thinks there's any value to it. And there's loads of channels to do with food on YouTube, but I like this guy's approach. He's just got a single camera. It's just him on in front of the camera most of the time, and he's got now over 91,000 subscribers, and he's doing pretty well. But with success has brought some negative feedback on YouTube, and he produced a video earlier this week talking about that, about his earnings from YouTube, about negative comments, and I know that happens to lots of people online. So, similar question or questions for you this week. Have you yourself suffered from online griefing? Do you think success just automatically brings the worst out in some people? And if you have suffered from it, how did you deal with it? And have you got any advice from anyone else who suffers from online griefing? And that's it for this week.
Wow.
I mean, you know, I stay out too late. I've got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. But the hater's gonna hate.
Oh, he's doing the Taylor Swift.
Faker's gonna fake.
Do you know, interestingly, I was going to say not necessarily negative feedback, but Kay, myself, and Millie today were having a discussion about social media influencers and how it's not a job. Get a fucking job. These people make money for nothing. They make money out of nothing.
Because
it's not, though. It is, but it isn't. It is, but it isn't.
It is. Well, how do we define a job?
We were taught, well, something that actually you have to work for. I mean, these fuckers do nothing.
They have to fucking work for it?
I don't think they do. I mean, it's like we were talking about. I mean, I know Chini's going to defend these guys to the hill, right? But we were talking about the Sidemen, right?
Oh, okay.
Talking about the Sidemen. And I'll be honest, right? Millie loves them, Adam, and they sit there and watch these guys who all started off as gamer streamers. That's how they all started. And then they kind of got together after that, right? And the stuff they do has been fucking done a million times. They just copy like Jackass and stuff from the past and just redo it. They're not even original. Nothing they do is original. They're just copying other people's shit, right?
It takes work to copy people's shit.
They act like dicks, right? Fuck around for a bit. And then because 20 million people subscribe to their channel on YouTube, they make $1 gazillion out of it. And I just think, you know, some people work fucking hard
yes,
all their lives and never earn more than 30 grand a year. They work hard. That might be doing like as a carer in a care home or a nurse or a whatever it may be, a cleaner. Do you know what I mean? All these jobs where you don't get paid that much, and these guys just fuck about a bit, copy shit other people have done, and get paid fucking like loads of money. I mean, we watched have you seen the Jake Paul documentary on the house when he got all these other influencers together to
I watched it. No,
and he's just a fucking dick, and he gets paid all this money, right? And this house that they were in was something like, I don't know, $40,000 a month to rent, and it's just paid for him. He doesn't even have to pay for it, and I just think you're not doing anything. You just what are you adding to society? What are you fucking adding?
I'm not going to dispute that. I think there's two questions here. One is people getting paid money when they're not doing the hardest work on the planet, and I don't think either of us would disagree that, you know, people who collect garbage, teachers, and you know, nurses, people who do really hard work deserve a lot more money. But I wouldn't start necessarily with like online influencers because yes, they're a very visible reflection of that mindset that says you should be, if you're lucky or you are able to make people tune in, that's worth giving you a lot of money. Like, yes, of course, that's obnoxious and stupid. But I'm much more worried about someone like Elon Musk, who sucks up $20 billion and doesn't let his workers organize unions. Wow. That's a much bigger drain on the world than some bonehead who gets hurt on camera mimicking, you know.
I don't disagree with you about, but the other point I'd make is, and I think especially social media, the internet, you know, fucking Instagram, all this shit. In the 80s, right, there were none of that shit. There was nothing. There was literally nothing. And I'll be honest, kids were a lot happier. I don't remember at school loads of kids having mental issues, right, and anxiety and all this other stuff that kids have these days. And I think a lot of that stuff is to do with the fucking internet and Instagram.
There has been
Twitter
a spike in that
and
because
Facebook.
of social media and phones
Fucking
in our pockets.
right, there
Yes.
has.
However, there have always been people who have struggled with mental health issues and depression and stuff. But you're not wrong. It has gotten worse.
It's
I think significantly
exponentially worse. It isn't just a
That's
little bit
probably
worse.
true.
It's exponential.
Right, no, I think you're probably right. Yes.
And I just think and they have all these influencers, you know, especially the beauty ones. Look how skinny I am. Look at all these like cool clothes I've bought from such.
That's always been about, by the way. Magazines. That's always happened.
Yeah, but not as accessible. I'm sorry, Mike. You're wrong. You are
No,
right.
I'm not
but
wrong.
You're also wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
Because those things weren't Vogue, for instance, and all those magazines weren't aimed directly at teenagers.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't. They
Yes,
were
they
not.
were. Yes, they were.
Vogue,
totally were.
Vogue's readership was not teenagers in the
Yeah,
80s.
but teenage ready.
I don't know a single girl when
17
I was at
was.
school in the 80s. 17, yeah. but
Sassy was.
Do you know what kids were reading when I was at school in the 80s? Teenage
Okay,
girls.
but you know what you
They
sound
were
like
reading
now, right? Like when I was
Jackie.
this
They
age.
were, no, I'm telling you, they weren't reading Vogue. They were reading Jackie, which was like a girl's
you didn't
magazine.
know every kid your age, though.
They were look. Kay was a teenager. She told me what she used to read. It was Jackie Smash Hits magazine,
You're
which was
dealing
about
with a
music.
small sample size
Okay,
here.
No,
Smash-
no, they
Smash-
weren't reading fucking Vogue. You're wrong.
So who would be in Smash Hits?
Saying they were reading Vogue.
So who would
Smash Hits? It were just like
so
pop stars.
Pop
and-
stars. So pop stars, they're sexualized, appear to kids. Same thing.
Not
Same
really.
thing. Same thing.
Not really.
Same thing.
Not really.
Same thing.
Not back in the 80s.
Same thing.
Mike,
Yes.
you're wrong.
No, because you sound like back in my day things were better.
They were better.
It's not always
There's
the
no
case.
doubt. Duke has just admitted that mental health issues
I
and anxiety
agree with
are
that.
exponentially worse
I
now
agree.
than they were back in the 80s.
But I also
so
said
how could it
that
not
the
have been
problem
better
has
then?
always been there. It's always been there.
Yeah,
All you
but
got
not
to do
to
is
the
say
same
that
extent.
You're right. We're not disputing that it's to the same extent, but it's just an amplification of something that's been around forever.
No, it's so much worse now than it has ever been. And that's
I mean,
down
we're not
to
gonna dispute that
solely
it's
probably
bad.
social media and influencers.
Yes, you're right. It's bad, but it's
So
not.
how can that be
here's
good?
The thing.
How can any of
no
that
one's
be
saying
good,
it's
though?
good. What we're saying, I don't want to speak for Mike, but what I'm saying is it's very important that there's a line in No Country for Old Men. What you're looking at here is nothing new. This country is hard on people. Now, he was talking about the United States, but I think the world has always been hard on people and hard on. We've got problems now that are really amplified. You know, in the Matrix, when Neo gets his eyes burned up and he's looking at the machine world through his spirit, he says it's just light everywhere, which means the technology is a reflection of what's deep inside us. So what we're seeing with these influencers and people getting paid money for just being jackass, I mean, it's just jackass, except that it's easier to make it now than it ever has been.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree with you, but I also think it has
we agree.
I actually also think it's a negative influence on young people because they look at these
Yes.
people and they think,
Yes.
well, I don't have to work for a living. I don't have to get a skill.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
have to learn
Tell
at
me
school.
about it. That's every
why do
student
I
in my
need
classroom.
why do I need qualifications? Because I can just go on YouTube and make $1 gazillion
Yes.
dollars. But let's be
Now,
honest,
on the other hand,
out of all those people,
but very
possibly
few
1%
people can
do it.
Right, exactly. That's true.
Yeah,
And
but-
so it speaks to the fact that it's not, because we started this whole debate with you saying they're not working hard. And I would dispute that part because, yeah, it's compared to coal mining, it's not as hard, but you still have to put in a lot of work and time. And it may not look like hard work when you're seeing the product that they put out because they're trying to make it look like they're just goofing around and having fun because people don't want to see them spending time editing. I mean, they're probably not editing it themselves anymore, but you know, once upon a time they had to put the grind in.
I would have said you
An overnight success takes 20 minutes, takes 20 years.
It's a 5% work and 95% luck, is what I would say. You've just got to be lucky.
I don't
You've
know.
got to
I've
get
never
a
done the
lucky
work.
break. You've just
Yes,
got a
you
lucky
do have
break.
to get a lucky break. I agree with that.
But the bigger issue, as I was alluding to earlier, is that like 1% of these kids might make it as a social influencer
yes,
or
Same with
multimedia
people who
or
want to
whatever
be
it is.
in the Premier League
But
or
the other-
the NFL in the United States or whatever.
The other 99% who didn't bother studying and didn't bother getting
Yes.
the qualifications and didn't bother learning a skill, it's because everyone's fucked, aren't they? Because we're not going to have any progression in the world because we're just going to be left with all these kids who couldn't be asked to try anything because
Well, I mean, that's
going to
part
get
of the
famous.
that's a problem, yes. And I tell kids all the time, look, go for your dreams, but have a fucking plan B, man. I didn't put all my eggs in the get famous published author status basket, right? I was like, I will teach. That's going to be my skill and my profession. And then if I can publish books, cool. And if not, that's okay. However, again, I think there have always been a whole bunch of kids who fuck around and don't do much and they screw around at school. And then when they get out in the real world, they're like, oh shit, I'm fucked. I'm gonna have to dig ditches for the rest of my life. This sucks. The difference is that automation is killing those ditch digging jobs. And, it used to be you drive a truck and now we're like, we're going to let the robots drive the trucks. But that's not, again, it's not a categorical difference now. The only difference is we're not sharing the wealth that's being generated by those robots.
Anyway, that's what I think.
Okay. Well, now that we've settled that, Chinny, I feel like I cut you off at one point. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Sorry, I was too busy watching The Sidemen.
Exactly.
Hey-o.
Exactly.
What did you say?
They're
something?
fun. I can't remember, to be honest. I was getting texts on my social media.
Is that it? Is that all you got?
I got a headline that said Putin reassigns such and such, whatever. And I thought it said Putin resigns. I was like, oh shit, Putin resigned.
my God.
Oh wait.
I don't know. I mean, I think what you're seeing there, Stu, is the tip of the iceberg. Really, like those, like people like Sidemen, Mr. Beast. They're like the ones that not only make it, they super make it, right? Where it was like there's a bunch of YouTubers and people on TikTok and stuff that are doing well, making a living, but they're not household names. They're not selling prime drinks and stuff like that. But they work hard. They edit their own stuff, or they get one person to edit it for them, and they work bloody hard at it. And it's a job, and they provide entertainment just the same as a stand-up comedian would go to a show and write material and provide entertainment. It's no different to any of that.
What are fucking people paying us for?
And I think what you're seeing is like like Sidemen, Mr. Beast, Jake Paul. Like that's like the upper echelon, absolute 1% of what content creators are. My friend, who's a snooker coach on YouTube, makes a living from it. He works really hard on it, all right, and he works his bollocks off, and he has to keep coming up with stuff, and it's tough, and a lot of people are quitting.
I don't think it could ever be described as tough.
It is tough. You try.
He's not got calluses on his hands, has he?
Well, so I think hold on, no. Everybody spoke, but right. So I think what you're having trouble with is that there are some ways to make money which is harder than others, all right? And the people that make money that's really, really hard deserve better money, and that's not the way the world works.
Well, no, it isn't, but that doesn't make it right.
It like if that was the case,
it doesn't make it
then
right.
NHS nurses and bin men and all that stuff, they get paid more, but they don't.
It doesn't make it right that the Sidemen steal an idea that Jackass did 20 years ago, rehash it as their own idea, which it clearly isn't. And they even did like a quiz of the year quiz like they do on fucking Channel 4, like Jimmy Carr hosts, where they do like a big fat quiz of the year. Do their own version, just call it something slightly different. But that's not their hard work because they've just stolen the idea off someone else.
But it's people are paying for their personality, aren't they? They want to listen to them. They're appealing to an audience that looks like them.
Well, that's not. There aren't people. There aren't people. But it's not hard work stealing someone else's idea, is it?
It's a fucking quiz, Stu.
Yeah, but it's still not.
We've done quizzes.
But you're saying it's hard work, but it's not. There's clearly not a hard
work. But would you say it's wrong that Chinny's friend is making a living from being a coach of snooker on YouTube?
No, because he's providing a service. The Sidemen
are okay. So what's it? Why is it any different? Jimmy Carr wasn't the first person to do a fucking quiz on TV. He's just
Or
dicking
to
about
tell
on
rude
TV,
jokes.
isn't it?
I'm not saying he is, but the one they did was clearly almost the same. It
Is
was
Jimmy
the
Carr
same
working hard?
format.
He doesn't have calluses
What
on his hands.
what I think it is, Stu, is that young people
You
are making
see-
money doing the same thing that other people are doing, making quizzes, making
Jimmy
jokes,
Carr-
and people that look like the Sidemen would rather watch them than Jimmy Carr because they look like them.
You see, Jimmy Carr and all these stand-up comics, they probably spent the first 10, 15 years of the career, or 5, 10 years of the career, jobbing round pubs, doing stand-up gigs,
Yes.
traveling from place to place. That is hard work because you've got to get in a car, go out every Friday and Saturday night, and hope they get a break, and hope that someone finds them funny. These YouTubers don't do that. They just sit in front of a
Stu,
camera and
if-
just talk shit for half an hour
if-
like we do.
If people like Jimmy Carr and Dave Chappelle were brought up now, they'd be on YouTube.
Well, they may or may not be. We can't say that because we don't know, do we?
Because it's a platform.
Well,
We
we
ain't
know
got-
what comedians today are doing, and what they're doing is tweeting
Well, they're
and
still-
going on.
Bo
YouTube.
Burnham, Bo Burnham
they still
started. Bo Burnham
control their
started on
content.
Vine. He was a Vine comedian, and now he's a fucking brilliant comedian. Because
And if you don't
because-
think it takes work to try to make a living doing that, talk to Antonio. He gave it a real shot, and he couldn't make it work. He had to go in some other direction, but he'll tell you that was fucking hard work what he was doing. And I know that you're talking kind of about a different category of person. Like Antonio's putting in work to like edit things real well and whatnot, but I mean, I think sometimes it's easy to look at a product of something and be like, that's not hard work. And we don't see all the work that goes behind it. People look at me and they go, oh, he's so gifted at teaching. And I'm like, you don't see the work that goes behind
Yeah,
it.
but
I'll tell you a story,
What
Stu.
you got is a skilled job, and you had to go to university and get a degree to do that. Most of these influencers,
I mostly learned
don't know what a degree is.
I'll tell you a story because like they had to work hard to like all these comedian stuff. Everybody, the Sidemen, they probably have to like edit stuff eventually themselves, and then they get to a level where they're famous enough where they can hire someone. I'll tell you a story about. You like Michael McIntyre, do you?
Not really.
Well, he's a prick anyway. Right, so that guy, he's a successful comedian, does really well, and COVID hits, right? And I know this story's true, right? He says, I need a show, get me on the TV now. Because his show wouldn't work during COVID. So lots of people engineered a show where just because he's like, I need to be on TV, get me on TV that works during COVID, right?
Yeah.
So other people come up with the idea of the wheel,
Okay.
right? Other
Yeah.
people, they made the
Yeah.
wheel, they tested the show, they come up with the
Yeah.
idea,
Yeah.
and then he jumps on and goes, I've got a great new show called The Wheel.
Right.
How's that any different?
Well, that's plagiarism if that's true.
It's true. Well, no, not because they said, put me on, make me a show. I want you to come up with a show, Dave.
Yeah.
And get me on
Yeah.
TV because I'm not on TV. Dave comes up with an idea called The Wheel, so everybody can social distance, and they
Yeah.
come up with The Wheel. And then Michael McIntyre has done fuck all to this idea. He turns up with a couple of jokes, has a laugh with the contestants, fucks off home. Everybody closes down the set. Everybody
Yeah,
does
but
all the
he was-
work. He turns up. How's that any different
He's
to the Sidemen?
Because he's already done all the hard work. He's
So
jobbed
have
around as
they.
a comedian
So
to
have
clubs
they.
and
They've
pubs and
streamed for
God knows
years.
what, an Edinburgh Festival or
They-
whatever.
yeah, but like it's just a different platform. They stream for years on their own.
We're never going to agree on this.
They came together. Okay, I have two things to say, and then we can move on.
Never gonna agree.
Apparently, the Sidemen came together in 2013, so they've been grinding for more than 10 years.
No,
they
they've been making
met
cash
in-
for more than 10 years, Duke, is what you'll find.
The group originates from a Rockstar Games social club group made on 19th of October 2013. That means that they came together in 2013. So anyway, but they met in Grand Theft Auto Online apparently, and then the other person met at a FIFA gaming event in New York City. I thought that was pretty funny. It has to do with video games. How about that?
Well, they're all
Meanwhile,
video
T.S.
games.
Eliot said this: immature poets imitate, mature poets steal. Bad poets deface what they take, and good poets make it into something better, or at least something different. So we can all agree that mature poets steal. We're all stealing. There's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's just remixing the other stuff from other people.
I
All right,
don't
what's
even.
next?
I
Are
don't
we
know
doing
what that
shout-outs?
means. I'll just go. Yeah, no worries.
It means that you're accusing them of stealing, and I'm accusing everyone of stealing. Everything
Well,
I've ever used in the classroom, I stole from someone else.
Fine. Right. On that note, let's do some shout outs. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, here we go.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
I'm going to shout out the Sidemen. Power to you people.
Yeah, we love
Keep
you,
on making
Sidemen.
the millions.
The
Keep making the
best.
millions for nothing.
The best of us.
Keep on doing it. There you go.
Sure.
Power.
Well, I'm going to shout out SLH. She's been posting some lovely pictures of where was she posting from? I don't remember, but they were cool pictures that I remembered seeing. Stu also shared some cool pictures of Aurora Borealis, and shout out Antonio because he worked hard on his YouTube stuff, and shout out everybody in the Old Fart Rocket League Solstice. Yeah, shout out everybody listening and everyone in the chat.
Yay.
Ian, Darren, Sim, Blake. Shout out Elmar because he's doing a thing. Shout out to Dan Catman for Hardly Dan for his bike ride. Raised that funds.
Did you really?
Those funds.
Did you really just say Dan Capman? Is that what you really just said?
Napman. How do you say it?
Napman. Dan Napman.
Napman. Right. Dan Napman.
Batman. Dan Batman.
Shout out Tainted Brain. He's been real active on the Discord. And Tim Kelly keeps posting. I'm just looking at our Discord now. And shout out to Jason Gallagher for writing in emails, and Derek Sainz for Lord Derek, whatever the fuck is it? Yeah, speak pipes.
Not Derek. Not Derek.
Not Derek.
By the way, I
Saint
should have
Diesel,
said
that's it.
shout out the
And
sun.
Jacinta.
Shout out the sun as well for the Northern Lights. There you go. Shout out to the sun.
Oh shit! I got Jacinta to check out Our Girl Gamers. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool. I mentioned it on the podcast many years ago. I sent her a cross stitch of the Veteran Gamers. She put it on her. She sent me a picture of it on her gaming desk, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Mike.
The headline, the title of the email was "Squee." I was like, "Yes, that's the kind of reaction you want when you send someone a gift."
I'll shout out to Stuart. Happy birthday, Stuart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday, Stu.
Shout out to. I did have another one, but I can't think of it. Oh yeah, Dan. Yeah, shout out to Dan. I donated to the cause.
Dan.
I donated to his
Cool
charity.
people donated.
Yeah, so check out our Discord to give him a donation.
By the way, just kind of say before we go, in the Twitch there's a user called Polar Nights. It says loves the show. As a barber, I love the show. It is the perfect evolution of beard growth, right?
We had a beard growth thing last week.
Beard growth. So this is what I'm going to ask you, right? I'm thinking it's time I got my hair trimmed. Right?
Yeah, shave your head.
It's getting long. So what should I have done, Polar Nights? You know,
skin fade.
Send us an email. Yeah, what should I have done with my hair?
Get a Caesar.
You know,
get a tight line.
Get it sort of trimmed.
I want to see you have a skin fade, mate. That's what I want.
Skin fade. Yeah, I think I'm a bit old for that.
Then you'd be cool in the little room there.
No, I couldn't. I could never shave my head. By the way, I have ridges.
That
I've got
attitude.
ridges. If I rub my head, I've just got ridges.
Ruffles.
So I've got one of these weird head shapes where there's ridges on it.
Was attacked by a mulcher when he was a baby.
Don't know. It's like if I rub my head there, I've got like 2 or 3 like ridges.
No, I want you
to be very gentle.
No, I want you to shave your head.
I haven't got a smooth head.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, that's all right.
I want to see your freaky head.
So thank God.
The people are demanding
I've got a
to
lot
see
of
Stu's scalp.
hair.
Come on, everybody, write in. Send speak pipes. We want to see Stu's scalp. We want to see Stu's
So
scalp.
I'll donate money to Dan's thing if Stu shaves
there you
his
go.
head.
Like I care.
No.
Well, you know, I'll donate
Oh, you don't
money
care
to Dan.
I would think you would care about his.
I know it's Heart
charity,
Foundation
because it's for hearts.
British Heart
Yeah,
Foundation.
exactly.
I do, but I don't care enough to shave my head. Just saying.
Well, but you look so sexy.
Maybe.
So yeah, that's about it. I shared it to Dan for doing a thing, the bike thing.
Yeah, well done, Dan. Hope it goes well. God, that is the worst soundbite ever gonna just say. I'm not.
Here, wait. Speaking of people being annoying, Elliot Kalin on the Flophouse was recently talking about why he's so annoying because he's a short guy.
No wonder I've always had to prove myself to be the smartest one in the room, constantly interrupting my co-hosts. Jokes that aren't funny, just to people.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
That's about it.
All right, are we done? Is this over?
Let's get the hell out of it. Thank God.
Okay, thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Why don't you? Why don't you just drop it to the then go do something less boring instead. Sitting at home, watch TV. Her love's no good to me.
Guard your air! Guard your air!
There's a line between entertaining and annoying.
No, that's a myth.
There we go. I think that's it.
There we go. Another show in the can, people.
Another
Love you.
show in the can.
Thank you very much, love.
Radio. See you guys
Radio.
later.
Yeah, have a good week, everybody.
You got
with
work
your
tomorrow,
bad
Stu?
selves.
I have, mate. Yeah, I'm in for the next 4 days straight.
Oh my God, what's it like having a 4-day work week?
I know. Well, it's always 4 days, but I'm in 4 days together.
Yeah, most people have 5 in a row.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Is this idea that you're
I'm not used to this.
You're not
4
working.
days in
That's not
4
work,
days.
Stu. Oh, that's not
10
working.
10 and a half
You don't have
hours
calluses
a
on your
day,
hands.
starting at 6 in the morning. No, I chop the end of my thumb off. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's your
That's
own
because you
bloody
weren't
fault.
paying attention. That's nothing
Yeah,
to do
well,
with
that's
the
true.
job.
And I run around the kitchen all day. I'm on my feet constantly.
Yeah, it must be tough. Being on
It
your
is
feet
tough.
all day.
How
And
else,
it's hot.
how else
Can I
would you
just say it's
work
boiling?
how else would you work in a kitchen? On your hands?
Well, exactly. Exactly. No, it's-
Now you just
I'm
have a
not
lazy kitchen where you sit around.
sat
and
on
be
my
like,
ass in front of a
put that in
computer.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a physical job, people.
Yes.
So there you go.
Physical.
Physical.
There you go.
Physical. Not as fucking sat in front of a computer
Let's
filming
get
yourself. doing
physical. You're gonna have to let it go, dude. You
Doing
really do sound like a
shit.
very old person. Like, oh, these kids today aren't working.
Bloody
What
aren't.
was their age?
Bloody aren't. Radio guys, see you later. Have
Okay.
a fun
Peace
week.
out, fam.
See you
Peace out.
later.
Bye.
Bye.